Yeah, the streak is over. I take that. You gotta take a shot, y'all. The streak is over. Damn, it was only 6 days in. I'm man's. Jesus Christ. I know. I don't take a toast for the streak. Fuck. Felt bad about that. To the ending of that streak, but to the beginning of a new one, okay? I won't call it something. I'll just stream. I won't call it something, though. But take a shot with me. Welcome, though. Very happy to have you guys in here. Welcome to my people on YouTube. Welcome to my people on Kick. And welcome to Rumble. Rumble showing us some front page love today. Rumble.com/academics. Or actually just rumble.com, period. I think we are the front page. This is Rumble giving us some love here. Okay. Thank you, Rumble. Thank you, guys. I've been really cool with the people from Rumble since we've had a deal back in the day. And that deal, I believe, despite the deal ending, I always try to keep and foster good relationships. They've been good to me. I've never had anything bad to say about them. And, likewise. So I salute to Rumble. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for the front page love. By the way, I don't ask for this. They kind of fuck with me, and you'll notice I'm a loyal one, right? Because as soon as our deal done, I could have been like deuces, right? But we don't have a deal. We don't have a streaming deal. Not necessarily interested in one, even though I would, look at one. But and also the Twitch thing is still for the people who wonder about Twitch. I don't know. This could be the year, but I don't want to. I feel like I'll jinx myself. We started making some communications. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. If you guys don't know, about a year and a month ago, we were indefinitely suspended on Twitch. A tragic halt to what we had going on over there. Twitch is in an interesting place. I felt like I've seen people do worse. You know what I mean? I've seen somebody, not trying to throw other people under the bus. I've seen a couple people pull a gun. It's cool. I've seen somebody beat the crap out of their dog. You get a month. But some, tasteless trolling, right? Obviously, even though it, clearly included, a little nigga. They that's the thing. It's okay. No matter what happens, we will still prevail. This is why we build the audience the way we do. The chat niggas, it don't matter where we go from platform to platform. These days, I want to give a big salute to Kick. Kick has been very hospitable of me. They took us in a really interesting time. And, they understand us. They love us. And they, appreciate me. I just want to say that. So thank you to Kick. Okay. So thank you to Kick and Rumble. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit, but welcome to the stream. Once again, the streak ended last night. I didn't want to mail it in. That's why I ended. I woke up 3 times. I don't know. My sleep schedule is super fucked. I thought I fixed it, but then didn't fix it. I was sleeping in and out through the day. Me and my mom got into it. When your mama been at your house for too long, me and my mama started getting into it. I'm like, yo, mama, moms. I'm the youngest, if you don't know. So, my mama still goes around the house like I'm 5. You know what I mean? Like, Mom, chill out. Chill the hell out, man. Chill out. Other than that, wow. Are we what's happening right here? But other than that, all is good. Moman219, thank you for the 5. I will get to it. So if you're going to hate on the Cole album, you can just keep your review. I didn't even say I'm going to hate on the album. You guys are projecting at this point. Really projecting, right? We'll get to talking about Cole. Is there static on my mic? Let me know. Is there static? Okay. Hopefully it's good. Check YB replies. We will. You know, I played a song. I think I'm just tired of making news for this week. You know, I played this song recently. Well, I played it in the intro, Nevada. And for whatever reason, so I don't know how we got there. Actually, I was telling him one of my favorite, I don't know how we got to music. Because he really was just, we were talking about some other stuff and then some other stuff. And before inviting me to China, we're just chatting. And I was telling him I really love the song Still Waiting. That was the one. That's the song. I don't know if you guys ever heard this song before, but I love this song. It's raw. It's emotion filled. YoungBoy, Still Waiting. I should have played it during the intro. He recorded over the jail phone. Yeah. Anyway, and I told him that, and he was like, man, I was down bad making that song, but I love it too. He loved that song as well. He liked how raw it was. He said, man, I was locked up and all my bitches cheating on me. Well, he didn't say all my bitches. He just said, he said he was just locked up and his mind is going crazy. He's like, yo, people he loved, he felt like they were just doing him wrong. And I was like, hey, I could understand that. I feel it. Like when I play this song, it evokes emotion. And for whatever reason, I think I mentioned Nevada. And I was like, yo, damn, I didn't know you did it about. And then he actually told me who the song was about. I don't want to make news, so I won't even say. But he was like, Ack. He broke the signs down, and I was like, oh, okay. It's actually a little bit, I don't know if the fans, well, maybe his true fans probably know, but I love that Nevada song as well. Anyway. Formally, you're wrong. I'll say that. No. Everybody's saying that you're wrong. Whatever you're saying, you're wrong. You told me exactly who it was. But before he said act. He said just read the fucking lyrics. Anyway, whatever. It's now whoever you think. I'm just saying that. I don't want to say, but he broke it down to me. I got to do my lore on it first. I got to do my lore on it. Do some people get it? Ooh. Nah, that's not whatever y'all are saying. It's not that. But now I can't say it because I said I talked to him. I should have just said it, right? Like, but yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe, is this her? Anyway. Somebody said I'm sounding zesty. What the fuck? Am I sounding zesty? How am I sounding zesty, chat? Okay, I'm just waiting for everybody to be good. Okay, what's going on with King Academics? Is it's tripping out? We're good? So I said, how far you are at the beginning of the stream. We just got started. Don't you worry. Okay, great. All right. Yeah. If you guys are on King Academics, just restart. I don't know what's going on, or maybe it got clipped. Did it get clipped? It got clipped just off of that quick? Oh, wow. It probably got clipped really that quickly off me playing music. But who do y'all think that song's about? I want to see if there's some YB fans in here. Who do you think Nevada is about? Yo, King Buck, thank you for the 5 gifted, bro. Drill, what up with you? Drill, you might as well cut up some parts of the gambling stream I did today. You could blur out the gambling to put it on YouTube or just crop it out. Because I did talk about some stuff and I seen other pages. I don't know. I didn't even think they just watch my kick-only streams. But I guess we can't say nothing in privacy anymore. I got to start coming to Discord when I want to just vent. Okay. It's not about who y'all think it is. Yo, y'all really have no idea. I thought the YB fans knew. Oh, shit. No, y'all don't know. Y'all really don't know. Let me look at the lyrics. YoungBoy, Nevada. He told me, he said something, but I lost it. I lost that thought. He says, don't know who I want, you the one I want. Never said I don't. That's money talk. Junker than a skunk could go down in the room. Choppers in the trunk, baby. This that slime tune. But I need your love like right now, baby. Ooh, I'm not on the drugs. I apologize for you looking like a fool. I can't hold you right now, so I've been holding on my two. I don't want my ex. I don't want no bitch I had. I just want a chance. Hopefully I make you glad. One thing I do like about YB, he's rapping about real shit. If you turn me down, tell the truth, I might spaz. If who around, I'll probably bust their ass. And I think I should leave. Okay. But I'm caught up with these hoes, they gonna follow. I don't know. I'm just trying to see if y'all really like fuck with him. None of y'all saying the name. All right, fuck it. Let's leave this alone. This is not a topic. It's not a topic. I just thought I had like real YB fans in here. Nah. I thought y'all were like YB fans. Or maybe not. Someone says about McConan. Hilarious. All right. Oh. I'm not rage baiting. It's just that I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. Oh. It's funny. One person said it. Only one person. But I think that person is spamming different names. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone, bro. Before I say something, then all of a sudden they're going to be like, yo, this big mouth ass nigga act. It's always like my fault, right? It's always my fault. Okay. All right. Welcome, guys. And thank you for... Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in again. All right. I'll tell you what is on the agenda for tonight. We are going to get a little bit more into the J. Cole album. Not only are we going to get more into the J. Cole album, we actually do have some YB conversations to be had. YB has been tweeting up a storm. Some of the stuff we're confused by. But today I think he said something that we could actually, we could latch into, pause. And it seems to be connected to probably music, but also probably other things as well. We'll get into that. What else is going on? The Glorilla and Brorilla saga continues. Finesse 2 Times is involved with that. Is anything going on the Blueface NLE front? We'll figure that out. What else is going on? You guys throw some... Oh, T.I. and 50 Cent. Yo, 50 Cent he's like really, 50 doesn't like to joke with people. He doesn't like to joke with people, but he's going pretty hard at T.I. We'll get to that as well. What else is going on? Spam some topics. We're going to get into it. Iceman, y'all want to talk about it? Do y'all want to talk about Iceman? The fans have spoken. They've told me, Ack, you selfish motherfucker. We hate you. This is J. Cole's week. Save the Drake topics until Friday. So maybe we just don't do the Drake topics about Iceman. Like, we got to focus on Cole World. It's all about the fall off. We're going to do a deep dive. Who's the guy he's dissing from his neighborhood? Apparently, he went back to his hometown. He's going to be doing a, really like a really dope ass promotional tactic, but he's going to be driving from city to city like it was the old days with CDs in the trunk. People could donate. People could buy it. Perfect. But also, there's some rumors abreast about possible manipulation. We might talk about that as well. Not necessarily with J. Cole, but it's been brought to my table that's something we should talk about. And there's J. Cole, 21 Savage, and I believe the couple of the artists that use the company. Again, I know some of y'all, I keep telling you, I'm the realest one out there. I'm going to talk about everything. We'll get to it. What else? Trippie Redd and Elliot Grange. What's going on there? Thank you for saying that, but what's going on there? Trippie Redd, Elliot Grange. Trippie Redd and Elliot Grange. What's going on? Did something happen there? I don't see a call out or nothing. Trippie Redd. Let me see. I'm looking at his Instagram. Oh wow, he's changed his thing to Elliot. Oh wow, okay. Oh. Trippie Redd. Oh wow. What's this?
And who my profile picture is, nigga. Listen, if you want to know who my profile picture is, nigga, you feel me? Just click the app, man. Tell that nigga drop the album, man.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow.
And niggas.
Let me add that to the list. That's a good topic. Trippie Redd. Oh, my bad. Different computer. Trippie Redd, Elliot Grange. Spam it. Spam everything you guys need. Let Bet update. Of course, we'll get to that. Joe Budden versus Corey Holcomb. They're saying Ozempic Joe is a different monster. I might have to agree. What else? Trick Daddy implies. That's not. Is that real? Is that like recent? Is that recent? Is that recent? Tony Yayo on Flagrant. I know he's on Flagrant, but is there moments that we could talk about? Pharrell lawsuit. I don't know what that is, but I'll put it on. It looks like it is. YB Nicki. All right, we kind of got a list. We got a list here. We got a list. Anything else, just spam it now. Great. And while I start up, I got to do the obligatory promo. Hey, I don't know how y'all didn't get y'all meet and greets, but everybody keep telling me this. I don't know if I could even open. The venue is kind of on my ass at this point. I don't know if I could open up. I don't know if I could open up meet and greets for the second time again. We are bogged down with meet and greets, but I think that's a quintessential part of the show that I'm going to make time for you guys. But we have sold out, if you guys don't know, of all the meet and greets for the Miami show. If you guys don't know, Friday, March 27th, I am coming to Miami. Our first live show out of the tri-state area. We're coming to Miami. By the way, if you are on the West Coast, if you're over there, by Texas or, you're up in the 6, we'll get to you guys at a later time. But for everybody down there, I want my Atlanta folks to pull up. If you're from Jacksonville, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, clearly, Tampa, whatever. If you're in the Florida area, I expect you to somehow make it out to this show, okay? This is where we will finally all meet face to face. And also, I do have some other things. Obviously, I'm gonna do the show, do the meet and greets. I'm gonna figure out if some of y'all are weird or not. I don't think y'all are weird, right? Like, y'all can't be weird. And I do have some other things going on that weekend. I do plan to kind of personally invite a few of y'all chat niggas to come. If you want to ever see how a weekend with Big Ack is like, But let's not jump ahead. Let's figure it out once we get to the meet and greet. You know what I mean? Because y'all niggas could show up and be complete weirdos. But I don't think you will. Anyway, the general admission tickets are here. We're kind of trying to figure out some more VIP options that probably won't have meet and greet capabilities. But what the fuck is this? Okay, yeah, meet and greet, they're kind of done. But there's a possibility of another VIP, I guess niggas really hate general admission. VIP type of, seating arrangement or accommodation. So that is to come. But you guys, please go cop the tickets. Eventbrite.com, DJ Academic's live show in Miami. I haven't announced any of my special guests that's going to be there, but in the coming weeks, I will. All right. If you're not a chat nigga, this might not be for you. All right. Okay, great. Let's get it started. I'll get to your topics in a little bit, but we should probably get it started. Okay. All right, let me close. I could close this. Did y'all hear my Nicki Minaj theory earlier? It was like a real thing. But you guys helped me out on it, and I actually really believe you guys. Okay. First and foremost, as the title of this stream really says, and what we've been doing recently as I go on these monologues is really try to sum up and really present everything we're even going to get into, not just on this is the newest gossip or beef for the day, but as a overall look into what's going on in the industry and the culture that we love. Also what's going into your regular lives, and sometimes everything converges. That's really the main thing of what we're doing, right? Obviously, we're always into the bullshit, but I want to give you guys a little bit of nourishment, because if I only give you the fuckery, right, which I'm pretty good at giving you the fuckery, I don't think I'll be living up to my name of academics if we weren't a little bit balanced, right? We could have the chicken fingers, but at least have a little bit of celery on the side. So anyway, I kind of wanted to start with, as everybody has been seeing it. Do we have any people who invest in crypto in here? I would like to see if you invest in crypto, it doesn't matter if it's a meme coin or even, a stable coin, just one in the chat. Just one in the chat, right? And I could imagine you guys at this moment are probably going through it. Bitcoin, if you guys don't know, the price of Bitcoin is currently 69,000. It fell from a peak of 126,000, and the price of Ethereum, those are the two most popular stable coins, at a point within the last about 7 or 8 months, it was up to damn near 4,000, and now it's halved. It's at 2,000. People have kind of became really skeptical and really worried about what they're now saying is a crypto crash, with some even expecting that maybe that the cryptocurrency price of Ethereum, but not only that, but more importantly, Bitcoin, might go down to sub 50,000 level. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm even starting here, this is not a financial lesson, and this is not this is not like a money course, right? But, everything always matters in the world. And as we get on to talk about topics that might involve businesses, it's important that you guys understand everything from top down. We've been also continuing with, I feel like it's education a bit, where I'm giving you guys a little bit of what's going on in the world and how it affects us, but even how it affects culture and otherwise, right? So this is why I'm starting here. Now, as the title suggests, nothing, I say nothing is real, but the idea of money and currency and wealth, thought about in some realms, is that none of this shit's real. Now I'm gonna help explain it to y'all. Why is Bitcoin worth whatever it's worth? Why is, Ethereum worth whatever it's worth? Now, in the general stock market, it's a little bit easier to understand, right? if you're investing in, I don't know, say Spotify, and Spotify tells you, like as every public company does via NASDAQ, the Wall Street, market, they're going to say, hey, listen, we made this amount of money. We're anticipating to make this money next year. They're going to show you growth. They're going to show you profit. They're going to show you losses. And you could kind of even look at it to be like, this is a profitable company. And if they want money to scale up, I believe in them scaling up. And when they scale up successfully and they get profit, usually for most companies, they do what's called a dividend, right? I'm not here to give a math course or economics course, but I am here to just explain very simple things. And that's why I'm not going to play 15 videos on things to teach you everything. I'm hoping you just kind of get it. That's why it's a monologue. So the price of Bitcoin is kind of an arbitrary number that's kind of like picked by mostly, as the old saying goes, kind of supply and demand in a sense. But the demand is really what matters. Why does the demand go up or go down? Like, if everyone wants to buy Bitcoin, there's a certain finite amount of Bitcoin. If the demand is a lot, the price usually reflects that, because usually people are buying what people are offloading, and you could offload for a higher price. But if you kind of boil it down, it's basically what we say value is, right? Like a piece of paper money. I don't have any on me. Why is that worth $100? It's basically like this tacit agreement between me and you saying that this piece of paper that's made by the U.S. government is going to be worth $100. Now, the reason why I'm saying nothing is real is because we constantly see fluctuation of what's worth something, and then instantly or it goes down to zero, or we just see like it's not worth anything else, right? Why is a car worth, I don't know, $100,000 when it's on the lot? You drive it off, you spend 2 weeks with it. If you try to sell the same thing back, now it's $70,000. All these things become almost like this idea of all about perception. And once things are based on perception, there is a thinking, not common, because, this is still real money, like, right? Or real perceived money. But if you have that thinking that nothing is real, you kind of start to realize, and by the way, I'm not going cuckoo. For some people who might be like, yo, what is Zach talking about? Just follow my train of thought. You might be like, all right, if nothing is kind of like has actual value that can't change. I'm not saying nothing. I'm mentioning cryptocurrency right now, because I'm going to transition to something else. And really, so crypto crash, and recently we've been talking about a few topics. Now, I know some of you guys that might be interested in crypto, maybe you're really into it, or you're not. There's some people that they're into the predictions of it. They look at the charts and they try to okay, all right, here's a dip, it's about to go up. They do all that, and some people just read what other people think and they go off the experts. Who cares what you do? The point is, Bitcoin fell 50%. Okay? Now, what's important, and I always tell you, we always got to follow the money. There's a lot of things that kind of really resulted in that. If you ask people, they could say a bunch of things. They said, well, it's a couple things with the government. I think the running theory now is that there's some Hong Kong hedge funds that over leveraged the Bitcoin going up, and they use the Chinese yen, which is like their currency, which is a cheaper, conversion than the US dollar, to kind of back those. And basically they offset it against a BlackRock bet, because, if I don't want to get too much in the stock market, but you could get to calls and shorts, which you could predict if a stock is going to go up, and a stock or a crypto is going to go up or go down. Don't want to get too much into it. I just think about overall what I'm saying. There's a bunch of theories. But not only that, in terms of these ETFs held by these hedge funds in Hong Kong that have now, did some bad calls or some bad deals and over leveraged their position. Also, there's this like shift to AI, right? Like a lot of people who were betting big on Bitcoin, they're now taking their money and they're also betting big, or they're leveraging it on AI. Also, the data miners, that used to be powering Bitcoin, it's down 40%. They're now powering AI, right? AI is like this new thing. AI. You're going to hear it a lot. And I'm trying to make sure you guys are very familiar at a top level with it. I'm not going to get too much into the weeds with it. But all of this stuff kind of matters. Now, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not the biggest crypto expert. And also, I don't think no one has the real answer for why crypto's down, right? Fully, right? It's not one thing. It's like a bunch of things. But all of those things is the reason why it's down. But it kind of goes to the pivot of what I was saying with like AI. Now, this is kind of the crux of my idea, or not my idea, but me saying nothing is real. I want to give you a quick course. And again, this is me, a little bit of a nerd, a little bit of a math major, but I'm trying to make it understandable and palatable to some of you guys that have probably no idea about finances or economics. Remember I said, why is a Bitcoin worth $120,000? Or why is it worth $69,000? Or why is it not worth $1? It's a lot of like perception here, right? It's a lot of, perception, hope, faith that people could value and also leverage, and then it creates like a market value. Why am I bringing that up? Because now with AI, and I want to give you the story of AI, and I gave it before a little bit, but there's a funny story with AI. I'm an avid investor. A couple months ago, actually about a year ago, just like any avid investor, I'm just starting to get some houses and stuff like that because I was just too heavy like in crypto and just like stock market. So I got a couple houses and like I got some tenants and shit because real estate's supposed to be the thing to get you wealth. So, but I've always been like a heavy investor. So now, about like a year ago, I get hit up, and a lot of people get hit up, and people get kind of that bug where people are saying, yo, everybody, if you really want to, make a lot of money, you need to invest in Nvidia. And I don't know if you guys are into investing, but if you guys are, you will realize that Nvidia about like a year ago, it just went through the roof. Okay, it just went through the roof. Now, I'm going to give the story really quick. I could get more in depth, but I do not want to just like, drown people out because it's a simple story and I'm trying to crystallize my not necessarily theory, but just the point I'm making that really nothing is real. So going from a Bitcoin, right? What's the difference with it being worth 120,000, 60,000, or $6, right? Like you can't see a Bitcoin. It's just numbers on the screen. Like what is it? Now, obviously, people are going to be like, well, it has utility to send. Oh, okay, cool. You could argue it a million miles away, but it's not a tangible thing, right? Now, let's get to AI. It's funny how wealth moves. And if you ask me, and I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, I believe a lot of wealth has been taken out of the crypto market by a lot of rich people, and they're now leveraging it on AI. That would account for some of the losses we're seeing, some, not all, in crypto. Why are they leveraging it on AI? Because they see AI as the new multi-trillion-dollar industry. I want to give you this quick story, and hopefully you guys can keep up. I think you will. So Nvidia, if you guys play video games, I play video games. I'm an avid Fortniter. Nvidia is a company that makes GPUs. GPUs is a graphic processing unit. It's the thing that your motherboard would use to process the super duper graphics you need to play Call of Duty, this and third. And it's going to show you beautiful graphics that you could play your video game on, right? It's a company that has been lasting for the test of time. And the reason why it's been important now is because what they were doing, they are the basic, they create these chips that are these microchips that are able to process information at lightning speed. Because of that, they were able to take over, they used to compete with Intel. They took over the graphics, industry, and they worked with all the computing companies, especially for gamers and this and third. So if you play games, I'm pretty sure you have a Nvidia graphics card. That's how they started video games. Well, what happened is about a couple years ago, when there was about to be a shift to AI, is that here's the thing with AI. AI is a thing that the growth of AI, right? Like, have y'all been on Twitter? Have y'all seen like a chick post something? There's 80 mentions under it. They're like, yo, Grok, take her shirt off, put her in a bikini. Yo, Grok, have the legs wide open. Yo, Grok, have her bend over. Like, and that's AI. That's AI having to do that lightning speed. And if you just think about that, what happened is that you need these huge data centers, and you also need like really rapid response time to make that happen. So what started out as a company that would make graphics cards realized they had other utilities because they had a proprietary way to work with chips that would work faster than any computer. Okay? So once the world became cognizant that AI was going to take over, they said, who got the fastest processing unit and the fastest chip that could make it happen? Here comes Nvidia. So Nvidia kind of gets out of the gamer space, and now they're like the core chipset makers and GPU makers, or not, well, processing units makers for AI. So that's where Nvidia lands, right? And if you guys are into the stock market, you would have seen Nvidia was like, I'll look up the time. Nvidia soars. Like their stock soared like, it'll be like a long time ago. It was not a long time ago. It was like a year ago. You're only going to see new shit about it. But I'm just trying to give you, a little rundown. I want to look up everything. So Nvidia starts to basically do these deals and start working with people who need lightning speed computing. Okay? So if you need lightning speed computing, that's what you do. They later get fined because like they were getting contracts for non-gaming stuff, and they reported it as gaming stuff. And people were like, yo, you're making that much off games? Come to find out they lied, right? So I think they paid out like $5 million. Nvidia pays out $5 million. They reported, they reported, it was a civil, they disclosed. So the first thing people came to Nvidia with, and you're going to see everything makes sense, it was crypto mining. So in crypto, you need to mine the coins. That's a computing heavy process demanding thing that Nvidia got contracts to do because everybody's working with crypto. They're trying to mine them. They're trying to send them, blah, blah. Nvidia became the place that was, or the company that needed to help process this lightning quick, environment that was cryptocurrency and crypto mining. So they got a bunch of contracts after the video games, right? Or after the computer stuff that people were buying Nvidia for video games. And they've got a bunch of stuff for people wanting the fastest computers to mine. Because remember, there's supposed to be a finite number of Bitcoins. There's a finite number. So you want the fastest computer, the fastest shit to process it. They got a bunch of contracts. When they reported the revenue, they did not say this came from, look, they didn't disclose the impact of crypto mining. They act like they were selling, graphics cards for gamers, right? It said it was gaming business, right? So they lied. Right? They lied. So they failed to disclose that their growth was not because of the gaming market, but it was the crypto market. Okay? Hope you're following. So Nvidia, they started with gaming. Crypto comes in and said, we need some super duper computers. We got it. They do the deals. They eventually get sued, but they're still doing the crypto stuff. And then here comes AI, which requires even more need for super duper high speed computing. Okay? Now, keep in mind, my whole premise is nothing is real, and you're going to understand why. So Nvidia gets a bunch of contracts. Their stock shoots through the roof. And then this is where AI is kind of born. Not born, but like it's the infrastructure and industry that everybody's now operating off starts to happen. Essentially, companies wanting to develop AI go to Nvidia and say, can you get us, we'll do deals with you to get all of these chips to have this amount of computing power that we need for AI. Now, some of these things are going to be familiar to you. Some may not. One of the ones that do is something called OpenAI. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. But colloquially, and they own this product. OpenAI owns a product called ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is owned by OpenAI. That was the first big entrance into AI. And they do a deal. Right? They do a deal with Nvidia. Okay? Now, I want to, again, the premise you should be thinking about is how even money and whatever we're thinking is not real. It's all about interpretation. Here comes in a company we've talked about a couple of times, Oracle. Now, the story of Oracle, so pause that first story. So Nvidia, OpenAI, which is ChatGPT. So Nvidia they don't leave gaming because they still do it, but they then go to crypto. After crypto, they're at AI, right? Because they're making the chips, whatever, high-speed stuff is needed. Crypto needs it, AI needs it. But let's pause that for a second. That's the chips that's going to do the things required for AI. However, you need the infrastructure that AI is going to live under. And let me give you another real quick explanation. So pause that story right there, right? And I think you guys are smart enough. So we have Nvidia and ChatGPT or OpenAI. But now they need something else, which is where it's going to live. Here comes Oracle that we've talked about. And Oracle, remember, we talked about it with the TikTok thing. Oracle is where TikTok's data is at and the algorithm, right? But before then, Oracle, give me a second. Oracle, I want to break down this company for you. Okay. Oracle is a company. I can't remember when it was started. Let me see. Well, I'll just Google it. It doesn't really matter when it was founded. It was founded in 77. Okay, by Larry Ellison. I'm going to give you the real quick story about it. You guys could go look up these videos if you really care that much. It's not about one particular story. It's about the overall picture. Oracle founded in 77. It was initially established as, SDL. If you guys work in, or if you're older, you probably know that it was pretty much the first database. And a database is pre the cloud where, it could be, it's a database that could be hosted, like, say, locally, and it was set up in a way that multiple people could access it. It could tell what level of access, and it could interact with each other to properly deal with a company that had many employees that needed to do many things. Okay, I'm making it really simple here, right? Now, this is pre-cloud. Now, Oracle, right, was a enterprise solution, means it wasn't for like you and me. Like it's for a company, right? So companies used to use Oracle. By the way, as we're mentioning that, I got to mention the arms race, because as the cloud becomes popular, databases and the old school database becomes, they become kind of antiquated. So Oracle starts out, and then they start competing, or not start competing. They get blown out of the water by Amazon. Now, what you guys might not know is that, again, Amazon does make a lot of money from Amazon.com. We're on Amazon.com. But the majority of what Amazon does is that they reinvest a lot of their profits, and they don't take, they slim down their margins, so they're not taking that much of a profit. Their goal with their store or their online shop is always about getting every customer to buy from them, even at the expense of their own profit. There were some points during their history when they were offering about, Prime and this and third, they would take losses on things, but it didn't matter as long as they could get every customer to not go to Walmart, to not go to Costco, to not go to Target, but to go to Amazon.com. So this part of their business, it's been one that is very historic, but it hasn't been the most profitable in net profit. Why? They reinvest all the money and they take losses just to get customers, right? What people don't know about Amazon, one of their biggest money makers is not the Kindle. What else they own? They own Whole Foods. That's cool too. One of their biggest money makers is something called AWS, right? Now, if you don't know what that is, AWS is Amazon Web Services. You may not know what this is because you probably don't have to interact with it. It's also kind of an enterprise solution, meaning it's for companies. It's not for you and me. Now, I'm going to tell you why this became lucrative. So remember I told you most companies used to use Oracle? Well, when AWS came on, they were like Google to or Gmail to Yahoo, right? A lot of people were on Yahoo or AOL when Gmail came out. Everybody got a Gmail, right? And essentially what they did was they offered cloud solutions to companies and websites, right? So, without boring you with, and I feel like I might be boring you guys already, but just keep following. To make it short, the reason why, so Amazon, like for example, Twitch is ran on AWS. So there's a cloud, and AWS is Amazon Web Services. So Twitch relies on AWS, okay, for them to have a place to store VODs, a way to process their streams, the bandwidth, everything. AWS, which is owned by Amazon, but they also own Twitch, that's what it's hosted on. Now, get the kicker. All pun intended. I also stream on Kick. Kick is also on the same thing. Kick is also on Amazon Web Services. YouTube is not. YouTube uses their own different thing. But the majority of companies use AWS, whether it's Twitch. Like, that's all. It's always funny when people, like, no matter if you're on Kick or Twitch, you're on Amazon's web services, right? Like, if you're on, I don't know, most companies or most websites you like, they're on AWS. Maybe even Instagram. I could look it up. Is Instagram hosted on AWS? Oh, no longer, but they used to. They used to. Okay, cool. So basically, it's like one of the first cloud situations, and they get paid millions, well, actually billions of dollars for these contracts from companies to be able to run. Without AWS, you can't have a Twitch. Without AWS, you can't have a Kick. So cool. They pop out and they get a lot of market share, and now Oracle is looking like the old niggas who got no tech, right? Because their cloud thing is not that, it's not that inviting. It's just not popping like that, right? And they basically become the easy solution for everybody in the, big company space. So everybody's usually using AWS, right? And that's why they're kind of cleaning up, because they had, I think their market share was like 70% or something like that. Anyway, Oracle, which was more robust, it was more technical, and because it was based on database, not just straight to the cloud, it was really good, really robust, but it just wasn't the fan favorite. It wasn't cute. It's like the nerdy, ugly bitch. Like, she knows a lot and she's cool, but the pretty bitch that's a dummy, like, you're gonna go with that. So that's why everybody went with AWS. Now, ironically, when AI comes around, AWS is just a little bit too simplistic for what's needed for AI. Remember, AI needs a lot of computing power. It needs organizations. It needs shit that is, when you ask Grok a question, it's like this, right? It can't be like, oh, I'm thinking. Give me 5 seconds. Now, hold on. I'm waiting on the signal to get back from the whole data center in Oklahoma. It's not going to work. So AI has to be bang. So now we connect the two stories, right? OpenAI, who just gets a deal with Nvidia, needs to host AI somewhere virtually. They got two options pretty much. There's another one, but we're not going to get into that. Their options of where to host AI is going to be Amazon or Oracle. Now, Oracle, who was kind of down bad, actually fit all the requirements for what the fuck OpenAI needed. All of the things that was unattractive was now attractive because AI is really intensive and required extreme organization. Things that Oracle provided and had in place that AWS didn't. What happens is OpenAI, they already got to deal with Nvidia. They get down with Oracle over AWS. Now, this is reflected really quickly, and this is where we get to the money. You know me, I'm a pocket watcher, always follow the money. You probably saw a story that Larry Ellison became the second richest person in the world, and this is really interesting. So in 2025 to 2026, Oracle co-founder frequently reached, he became the second richest person in the biggest surge that people ever seen, right? The stock of Oracle jumped all the way up, okay? And most of that was this AI bet that is pretty much happening. But I'm going to explain it to you, and I hope you guys could get it. First and foremost, I'll explain. I have a video. I'll play a few seconds of it. So this is why, you know, and I'm telling you why. The whole goal is to tell you why money is all about perception.
In the AI boom, we've seen some crazy jumps in net worth. Sam Altman, Zuckerberg.
So Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI.
Larry Page from Google.
That's Google.
Jensen Huang, and of course,
that's Nvidia.
Elon Musk.
X, obviously.
But why Ellison, and why a jump of over 100 billion?
So Larry Ellison, so when OpenAI picks Oracle instead of AWS, and it's not like it was a one-on-one like this or that, but when they pick Oracle, everybody who is interested, so basically ChatGPT picks Oracle, and because everybody believes AI is the future, well, that's the hottest bitch in the party now, Oracle. So the worth of Oracle, boom, perceivably. We're going to get into financials a little bit.
According to Bloomberg, this was the biggest one-day increase ever recorded. Not even Jensen Huang, despite
that's the guy for Nvidia.
Founding Nvidia, saw a jump like that. And that's because equity always wins.
Here we go.
Huang owns about 3% of Nvidia, and even with just that, he's one of the world's richest people. Zuckerberg owns an impressive 13% of Meta, but Larry
I was actually shocked by that. I thought Zuckerberg owned a little bit more than that.
Is on a different level. He still owns 42% of Oracle.
Okay. Larry Ellison owns 42% of Oracle, right? So his net worth, you know, just goes through the roof. He's the second richest guy behind Elon. And this is where we get to, and maybe this is maybe the most interesting part of this part of the monologue, in you guys understanding money. So, Oracle gets picked by OpenAI / ChatGPT, and it's basically Nvidia, ChatGPT, OpenAI, and Oracle. That's really the big investment in AI, the first one. There's a lot of dominoes gonna fall, but let me explain to you how, number one, this is no better than you having $500 in your bank account, going to the casino, going to the roulette table, and not even spreading it around. You pick one number. I think when you go to roulette, it pays 35 to 1. You put everything on, I don't know, number 17. I'm going to explain. So, what ends up happening is the net worth, and some of these companies are public. These companies' perceived value gets ridiculous. Obviously, Oracle, right? Because of this supposed new frontier of AI. The three people who are set to win: Oracle, that's the database and the AI cloud, the power behind it. Nvidia, the chips that will run the infrastructure. And OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, which people love. Listen to this financials right here. This is crazy. So, OpenAI makes a 1.5 trillion. And it happened last year. They made a 1.5 trillion promise. Now, I hope you know what a trillion is. 1,000 billion is a trillion, right? Like 1,000, right? They make a $1.5 trillion promise about what they're down to invest in the infrastructure of AI. Now, this is wild. Everybody's like, oh my God, the new frontier has to be AI. It has to. They're making a 1.5 trillion promise for the investment into, look, the infrastructure deal's worth up to $1.5 trillion. Now, what's important is that this promise is supposed to, and hold on, let me see if I see it here. Hold on, I probably just have to get it from AI, which is ironic. Okay, right here. It's supposed to happen between last year up until 2035. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, again, I'm just trying to show you, it's just a money conversation, really. All right. Now, OpenAI is not like it's not a company that's making a lot of money. I'm going to make it really simple because I feel like I'm dragging it already. OpenAI in its highest, usually in 2024, it made like $10 billion in revenue, right? We're not talking about losses. We're just talking about gross. $10 billion in 2024. They made $20 billion in 2025. Yet they have committed to being down to spend $1.5 trillion in the next 9 years. The company is not worth that. Yes, remember, it's 1,000 billion for a trillion. Essentially what I'm trying to say, they're not making close to what they claim they're going to invest in the next 9 years, but they're betting that the industry is going to work and everybody else is leveraging the bet. That's why everybody's net worth is going up. So everybody's net worth is that's involved in AI is not really real. It's off this one bet. This, by the way, it's not even backed by banks. Let me see if I can look. It's not even backed by banks. So I think this guy actually does a good job of explaining it. Let me see. Here we go.
Art.
Is it him?
And Altman just insisted there were, quote, way more users.
Is it this? No, here we go.
To exist and do that.
And this is why I was comparing it to just walking in the casino, right? Because they're making a bet, but they don't even have enough to pay it.
Needs is a ton of data. You can't build enforcement for
Sorry.
companies mining the rare earth metal.
Okay, come on.
Since they first met in the early 2000s, microreactors, literally truck-sized mobile drone. 2024, he announced the product that had supposedly offered
here we go.
of techno-fascism. WorldCoin's backers say it can be a way to give out some form of universal basic income when AI starts replacing jobs.
I think this idea that we have a global currency that is outside of the control of any government is a...
Oh, no. It's here. My bad. Sorry.
On AI infrastructure over the next 8 years.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this explains
Brad,
better.
if you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a...
Here we go. Okay.
Watch this clip of Sam Altman having
So Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI, right?
very strange reaction to an interviewer who's pretty friendly to big tech, and I'll explain in a second.
How can the company with $13 billion in
At the time, they had $13 billion in revenue.
revenues make $1.4 trillion of spend commitments? And you've heard
Basically saying if you're making $10 an hour, how could you say you're going to spend $2,000? You're making $10 a year. How could you say in 10 years you're going to spend $2,000? The math ain't mathin'. If we extrapolate, even with a small growth factor, if you're making $10 million or 13, to be accurate, you're not going to make $1.5 trillion over 10 years. So how are you claiming you're going to do this, right?
the criticism,
First of
Sam.
all, we're doing well more revenue than that. Second of all, Brad, if you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a buyer. I just, enough.
So why does Altman seem so upset here? After
That's the CEO.
all, this interviewer is just pointing out a basic fact.
Which, again, I'm bringing it up because we're going to come back to this. This guy's either really smart or he's the biggest idiot.
Well more revenue than that. Second of all,
So why does Altman seem so upset here? After all, this interviewer is just pointing out a basic fact that OpenAI has committed to spend over $1 trillion on AI infrastructure over the next 8 years, despite only bringing in around $13 billion a year in recurring revenue, less than 1% of what they're promising to spend. I'm no money genius, and I'm personally terrible at budgeting, but that doesn't seem great. Most of the supposed growth in the American economy in 2025 was caused by investment in AI. That's all part of a promise being made by the industry, led by Sam Altman.
So exactly. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Larry Ellison's net worth is up. He's the second richest. Well, I don't think he is. He's number 4 now. He's behind Jeff Bezos again. Definitely Elon, who's still number 1. And he's behind, I think, Zuck. We could look at Forbes. Forbes has like a running list. Yeah, they have a running list. I think he's top 5. Let's see. Yeah. Elon, Zuck. Yeah, and Ellison's here. But his shit went up a lot. And I guess the point what I'm trying to say is that it's all perception. You know?
Now, once a certain level of machine learning intelligence is reached, all of our problems will be solved.
So that's the whole bet on AI. That once we could figure out, once AI is properly funded and it takes over everything, it's going to be the biggest thing. Jobs going to be done. We're going to cure cancer. We're going to do everything. We're going to be able to hover, fly, all that type of shit. And that AI is going to rule the world and not just be an ancillary parts of our life, right? Like right now, like what y'all use AI for, which by the way, Grok is hosted on Oracle. ChatGPT, OpenAI, Oracle. The majority of, whatever you guys use in terms of AI is on that Oracle. That's why Larry Ellison's popping so much. But the bet on AI is that AI is going to take over everything. It's going to eliminate most jobs, and people are going to essentially have to adopt to new things that's going to support the AI infrastructure that's going to control the world, obviously hoping it doesn't become what they call sentient, where it now becomes its own thing and it just fucks us all up, right? So that's the bet. And because of the bet, which, by the way, it's not backed by any bank. It's just like this one dude. Not really. I'm kind of being a little bit disingenuous, but it's not really backed by like a lot of different things. And I guess it is because it is backed by like the investments that people are putting in. But it's really one guy's vision.
the housing crisis, cancer, poverty, climate
Look, cancer, poverty.
change, mental health, democracy, universal basic income, cure a bunch of diseases, this cancer,
Shit, this guy right here is a legend. Watch him.
and that one, and heart disease,
helping you try to accomplish your goals and be your best.
very high quality healthcare, important new scientific discoveries. The marginal cost of energy are going to trend rapidly towards zero. The more equal world.
Universal extreme wealth for everybody.
In exchange for all that, Altman is asking all of society to put all of our eggs, our data, our economy, our water and resources, everything, into one basket. His. He's offering us one massive, just trust me, bro. So
hey, it works.
Should we trust Altman? Should we accept his deal? Is it even our choice? Altman isn't a technologist or scientist. He's an investor and deal maker, and really good at it, supposedly. But his whole career is a series of just trust me bro moments. So let's examine the deal Altman is offering all of us. Should we believe Sam Altman's promises? And what's the cost to the rest of us if those promises turn out to be lies?
And chat, that is the, I hope in however long I took to get to this point, you guys kind of get the backbone of what this AI infrastructure and AI world we're into. It might work. It might just completely take everything over. But based on this guy's promise, everybody has bought in. Like, they believe it. So you have every company. You have X, which is obviously Elon's company, investing, tens of millions of dollars or billions of dollars. I mean, you have the U.S. government, everybody's investing into AI, but the investments and the workload that's needed from it, because remember I brought up Nvidia, it requires a lot of computing power, a lot. Basically, what's happened is that AI really is only going to pay off if it runs the world. Not if the only use of AI is for you to be like, hey, Grok, take the bikini off shorty. Like, that's not going to be the payoff. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to be what justifies like all the money and billions of dollars that they're spending on computing power to have this technology if AI doesn't run everything. So essentially, this guy kind of convinced everybody AI finna run everything. Believe me. Okay?
So let's go back and look closer at Altman's early days.
Okay.
How many users there
All right, bet. So I'm not going to do too much on that, but I did want to get into two more things, and I know it's kind of ran long. I don't even know if this is a monologue at this point. But, it's important to kind of see some of these players and kind of see what's happening, because that's where the world is going. Everybody's leveraging their money in AI, okay? The net worth, the financials of the world currently are inflated basically based on the belief that AI is the future. Now, if it doesn't happen to be completely the future, or, it takes steps back, it's going to be catastrophic for certain companies, and it's going to be a lot of money lost. But currently, everybody's making the same bet. And they're making the same bet because there's a few players that's already heavily invested. Oracle, obviously, that's their thing now because they can't compete with Amazon Web Services for, like, say, Twitch or Kick. Nvidia, it's already getting all type of requests, not only for crypto, but now for AI. And then you have like ChatGPT, which everybody's fascinated with the idea of speed, being able to save time, and having like these virtual assistants, or having AI being able to problem solve and run models and do things that, maybe it would require several thousand humans to do. So that's what it's going to be, right? And obviously also it's going to affect the music industry if you do care about that, right? Like, it's going to be how music gets processed, music get made, music gets tested, music gets written and created, sounds get produced, and all of the sort. Anyway, interesting enough. I'm trying to figure out. Give me 1 second. What was my next thing? What was the next thing I was trying to get to? Oh, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what seems to be the future of every industry, where AI is completely going to be taken over. Now, AI has definitely helped out to do a lot of things. I mean, AI could help make a thumbnail. It could help you plan a business, make a website. I know a lot of people use AI to kind of help out with with analyzing the Epstein files, right? Which, if you guys don't know, I think we kind of looked into a bunch of stuff, and we're going to talk about the Epstein files slightly again a little bit later. Won't be completely devoid of some hip hop stuff, clearly. Calm down. But I do see people asking me to kind of react to a Trump situation that kind of happened. And it appears that the White House had tweeted something out, or I think maybe they They did it via Truth Social, and people felt like it was a racist. It was a racist clip that was put out to really offend really all people that are black. I want to look at it and kind of talk about it and then kind of move on to some other things. And then we're going to get on to our first topic in a second. But Trump, let me see. Okay, Trump, Obama. It featured Obama. I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of like bring it up. Here we go. Okay. All right, bet. So it looks like it was something that came out. So this is Donald Trump's Truth Social platform. And I'm trying to figure out the best way how I could play it. I'm trying to see. Okay, here we go. Okay. So it says Trump posted a long election fraud clip, and at the end, it auto-scrolled to a different video. Okay,
Machine that
let's
counts
watch
as
this.
votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard.
What the fuck is this?
The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020
Okay, so this is a video about election fraud, I believe.
general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ES&S machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software. So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump
has never let go of this idea that he believes that the election was stolen from him in 2020. So he's still posting stuff to his Truth Social account, kind of like, utilizing videos that's kind of like help proving his point. By the way, most of the people who seem to use Truth Social seem to be people who are either Trump supporters or, they don't have a problem with Trump. Okay, so that's why he stays on that platform mostly over X.
Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
Okay, now quickly, around 49 seconds, this happened. And I want to go back and pause it right there, because after this, and this was actually put out on Truth Social, people are like, yo, come on, bruv. Yo, this racist ass motherfucker has now, fuck the video before. Obviously, it was about voter fraud and, election fraud. But he's throwing in like kind of like this racially, offensive image of the Obamas as apes. Right? Now, he was asked about this. Let me see if I can find it. People are saying, how could he have done this? Trump. Let me see. Obama. He was asked about this while he was on his plane. And this is what he said.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, and I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. And they had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on the Lion King, and certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it, and probably they would have had the sense to take it down. But that was a takeoff on the Lion King, and a lot of people were covered. One different.
Okay, now from what the reports I've read, I didn't hear him say this, but they were calling on him to fire the person who put that up. Trump staffer fire, like they wanted him to fire the staffer. And it appears that he is, hold on, just bringing up some other shit. It appears that he will not, okay, this is what he said. Many people have commented on a post that was put up by a White House staffer. I even heard from the family of Jane Goodall, and they said, Mr. President, the apes are very upset that you... What? Okay, all right. This ain't real. This is cap right here. I can tell this is cap. This is cap. Nah, this is cap. I know this is a fake post. Yo, you can't even tell what's real no more. Okay. Yeah, this is fake. Yeah. I was about to say, like, hold up now. Oh, boy. Let me see. He did speak about it. They were asking, okay.
Are you going to fire them?
No.
Oh, yeah. They asked, okay, are you going to fire the staffer?
Sent it. Who sent it, and are you going to fire them?
No, I looked at it. I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about
Oh, he said no, he's not going to fire.
voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud. And I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a picture that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, and it was really about voter fraud in and the machines, how crooked it is, how disgusting it is. Then I gave it to the people. Generally, they look at the whole thing, but I guess somebody didn't, and they posted, and we took it down, and we turned it, you know. But that was a voter fraud that nobody talks about. They don't like to talk about that post. We took it down as soon as we found out about it.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you.
Didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot.
Okay. So he literally said, hey, listen, I'm not firing the staffer. I don't believe I made a mistake, and I made a post about voter fraud. Right? Now, it has came to, there is a little bit more info about this, to be fair to all sides before I give my opinion, that supposedly the video, there's a full video of the video that he actually put up, and that full video, let me see, the full video that was put up, yo, some of these things is crazy. Let me just put Trump Obama. The full video of... Who's these guys? Yo, why does got Biden looking down at Kamala as a turtle? Is Biden like an ape? Is he about to fuck Kamala or some shit? Who the heck is this? Of course they got Trump as the lion in that bitch. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas is apes, zebras, hyenas, monkeys. You know what I mean? Trump, the lion. Yo, who the heck is this? I'd be mad if I this person. You put me as the pig? Nah, that's crazy. Nah, you can't put me as the pig. Yo, you can't put me as the pig. She got them vocals, though. It's like Mrs. Puff. Yo, nah, this is crazy. Why is Trump getting fanned by like some... Who is this nigga? And who is he? Yo, the lion is in a hammock? Now, not to spoil it, but I was going to say it anyway. So I want to tell you, supposedly, I'm going to be skeptical of everything, don't worry. But supposedly, Trump, he's obsessed with this thing saying he should have won the last election in 2020. And apparently he's watching a video. And while watching the video, he screen records it. Supposedly that's the word. He screen records it and he sends it to his staffers, and supposedly they tweet it out. But when he screen records the video about voting fraud, the one that you've seen before, it has the beginning of this video in it, and the staffers don't look at the whole video and be like, yo, bro, your video, which is just, it does sound crazy to say, there's a president screen recording something, sending it to staffers in the White House to tweet or to put out on Truth Social. But allegedly, that's supposedly what happened. And that's why there's a minute or a second in this. Ironically, it's Obama and Michelle that's in the first second, and they're as apes. But whatever. They're saying that's how it came out. Let me watch the rest of this, and then we'll talk about it. Why is he getting fanned? Is this Whoopi Goldberg? Who is this guy right here? Is Whoopi Goldberg a hippo? Okay, and this is like everybody here. Oh, and they're all bowing to Trump. Yo, if this is true, you imagine what Trump's like feed is. Like his algorithm gotta be crazy. Yo, Trump's algorithm has to be crazy. Trump's algorithm gotta be like feeding him shit to say, nigga, you're the best. Fuck everybody else. They're all bowing to you. They all are like kissing your feet. You're the best. What type of fucking video is this? Everybody's bowing to Trump and he's just walking through. What? Okay. Now, clearly, we're at a place where, number one, there's always racial sensitivity about certain things. Now, some people are going to deny that this video was made after to cover up. But from what I have seen via my personal research and what other official outlets have said, it looks like this was actually already a video that was circulating. No, it was not made by the Lion King, but this was a popular edit that showed people in politics and people who were influential in as particular animals. Okay? Nevertheless, people do not believe it's a coincidence that Donald Trump would have this shown for a second, or that the White House staffers who supposedly was handling his account would have it shown in their original post. And they feel it's really some, baked in underground racism that really was implied here. And we should really look at Donald Trump as a really racist motherfucker. Okay? Now, this is what I personally think about it. Number one, I do think, I don't dispute that it was a different video, right? I do think, it is crazy for me to think that the nigga is screen recording shit. And I think, yes, it's very possible that maybe somehow two videos blend together. You ever been watching something, as soon as and it goes to something else? I get it. I still want to say, though, as much as I rock with, and everybody know, Donald Trump, my nigga. And I like him as a presidential, as the president over, not Obama, over Biden. And that was a choice we had. And I'd probably tell y'all that. I will say one of his weakest spots ever is having racial sensitivity. Despite, and even if we wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt to believe you, the idea that that would go out via a country which is, really has its past is, there's blood on the hands of a lot of people when it comes to America's past and colonialism and slavery. That might have not been Trump's intention. But I always thought, if you want to vote for a president that's about money, vote for Trump. You want law and order, Trump is cool with that. There's certain things that he does great at. One thing I've never thought Donald Trump did good at, and it's being understanding of why people that are not his skin complexion would be offended by things that are racially insensitive. And I thought he should have apologized. I don't think he did this to be racist. I think it was a mistake, but it's a mistake that offended a large majority of the population and a part of the population that at times when you're doing things for them, and maybe it's to pander, but we hope it's not, you actually do say you care about that community. And when if that community is saying, hey, we feel this was insensitive, we're looking at you some type of way, I don't think it would have cost them anything to apologize. And I do think he should have apologized, honestly. You get what I'm saying? I think he should have apologized. And I just think he kind of handled this wrong. But he usually, I'm going to be honest, he always handles anything with race wrong. He usually does. Like, I don't think he gets it. Like, for him, it just kind of goes right over his head. And, that's where people around him have to kind of like, well, I think it's Trump. You can't tell Trump what to do, bro. But I do think it's insensitive. Do I think he's racist? No, I don't think he's racist. Honestly, I really don't think he's racist. I do think he really don't give a fuck about race in the sense of caring what black people think about this. I don't think he does. So that's why I think when they're saying they're trying to solicit apologies, he's like, what? I'm good. So I do think he should apologize. Don't think necessarily he put this out necessarily to be racist. But, I know in this time, nuanced opinions about situations like this isn't welcomed. I understand, right? Like, I think people want me to either say he's completely racist or he's completely not. And I think the obvious truth here for me is that this is offensive and it was a bad mistake. I think most people would have fired the staffer. If you want to blame the staffer, it's supposed to be someone who's reviewing but if you're the one screen recording and sending to them, you got to take accountability as well. But if for the people who are jumping to the conclusions of wanting everybody to say this means Trump thinks Obama and Michelle are apes, I don't necessarily believe that. Okay, and I see a bunch of L's. I'll take that. But I do think he should. I think he should apologize. He should have been sincere. Like, yo, come on now, like, bro. I don't think Trump would be president without black people. I think he should. You got to have. That's where the humanity comes in. He sucks on social issues. Anytime social issues comes up or anything about that's not black and white, he's a numbers guy. Any numbers guy suck on social issues. Like, he's just looking at like, but I'm not racist. It's a mistake. Yeah, but people are offended. And you should, just like how you pandered to that community and when you were sitting around all them reverends that were putting their hand on your head and this and third, reverends, Donald Trump, you should care about, it was like a bunch of them. It's like a prayer. Yeah, you should care about, what the fuck? Of course they did that. You should want to care about the opinion and also if you did offend, even if supposedly you didn't mean to. But whatever, I digress. Last thing here, before we get all the way into just regular topics. As we talk about Trump and obviously what I would believe is hopefully a regrettable situation for him, we then have to get into a little bit more about the Epstein files. And for me, it's like the irony about it, because I'm kind of watching everybody. Well, let me start by saying this. I kind of now understand, and y'all won't hate me for saying this, but just allow me time to explain. I kind of now understand why the government didn't want to release it. Let's be very clear. With the Epstein files, quote unquote, the new 3 million documents that were released pretty much say, they pretty much paint a picture that there are people who supposedly knew this guy, may have known stuff he did, may have assisted or whatever, but there's not like actual full-on proof of these things for sure. They're allegations, right? And I think, I'm not really trying to pick up for the U.S. government here, but watching how people deal with this information is probably exactly why the government was trying to say, hey, we're going to just say there's nothing there because there's nothing we could prosecute. Now, I know some of y'all are saying, yo, damn, Akio, what's up with you? I'm saying that because people only believe the parts of the Epstein files of the niggas they don't like. They don't believe everything. People are picking and choosing. Everybody said they wanted the Epstein files. Give us the files. We want to know. The government said, here it is. When they seen their mans on it and they seen other people on it, they're like, wait, hold on now. Nah, that's fake. That's false. Nah, I ain't rocking with that shit. That shit cap. And then when they seen a nigga that they don't like, oh, there it is. There it is. That was he was hiding. That's the problem. None of these things are prosecutable. And I'm getting to realize, obviously, I do believe, yes, the government was trying to protect certain people in their images. Definitely. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I'm disappointed by the people who are calling for the files to be released, now doubting the very files that they asked for. But while doubting the files that they're asked for, they'll believe certain parts of it. Certain parts of it. What am I talking about? Okay. Let's say Trump. A lot of people who wanted the Epstein files felt there was going to be, incriminating evidence against Trump that potentially could be proved. And by the way, I stand to be corrected because there's still 3 billion more documents. From what we've seen so far, it's a lot of, I heard this happen. It's hearsay. It's at most we could walk away from some of these like, stories or reports or, these emails, so to speak, because some of these emails were never even sent. Some of these emails seem like diary entries. Like, for example, there's the email where he's talking to Bill Gates. He never sent to Bill Gates. He just wrote it and just left it there, which that's odd already. So, like, whether it's Trump or Bill Gates, do we believe it? Or do we well, you're kind of guilty because you was cool with a nigga anyway. Like, we got to pick a side. Now, people have whatever they think about Trump already. A lot of people, that probably don't like him or whatever, they're probably gonna be like, yo, this nigga probably was fucking kids, bro. Right? So when he's even mentioned, it's like, nigga did it. But when it's other people who they like or who they don't have any issue with, they're like, story don't make sense. Eminem name is on there. Don't make sense. This other person, Jay-Z. And that's where I think perhaps maybe the government had a fucking point. Because if you're not going to take all of it and say, and pause with that, if you're not going to take the entire released files, and remember, if there was prosecutable offenses there, they would have been prosecuted, and no one has even came out to say, why is this person not in jail? Because everything feels like one person said it, but they can't prove it. This is, somebody's emailing about something. The email doesn't go all the way through. Somebody gives like some story. They're trying to follow up with it, but they can't really it's kind of all over the place. But one thing is true in there is that there's a lot of salacious shit. There's a story in there, right? That George W. Bush sacrificed a child and ate the intestines. Like literally. Literally. Hold on. In one of the allegations, it said, let me see if I can find it in tests. Look, they say, what are the allegations against in an email correspondence, which a purported Epstein victim account notes, thanks to M, I didn't realize George Bush R-worded him too. More details about the victim are attached in the same document. While on this yacht, he witnessed African-American males having sex with blonde females, all of whom were bleeding during intercourse. That's what the document says. It says he was a victim of a ritualistic sacrifice. And by the way, I'll show you the full document that you guys can know I'm not capping. He was a victim of a ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar, but left no scar. And on the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed. And individuals ate the feces from the intestines. That's what they're accusing George W. Bush of. That's the problem with the files. How do we make sense of all of these things? Now, here's me. I'm a math guy. I don't like to do the discernment in terms of these files because there's no charges. So I'm going to believe it all or I ain't going to believe none. That's what I'm a 1 or 0 guy. So what do? Do you read this and be like, nah, in my mind, they wouldn't do that. That's cap. But then you go to another one and you're like, that sounds right. That sounds believable to me. Let me find if you think I'm lying. If you think I'm lying. Here it goes. This is, and again, remember, people are saying now, because now everybody depend on what horse they have in a race. And these are all people who called for the release of the Epstein files. They have their own way of interpreting what in the files to take serious and what not to. So what they say is this. Oh, if it was a tip, something on a tip line, we ain't gonna believe that. But if it was an email, we believe that. That's the problem. Okay. So now this is not a tip. This is not a random call. This is not a random call into the FBI tip line. It says subject, interview of a purported Epstein victim. So someone sat with an FBI agent and actually said this. So I'd like to add another couple points that were disclosed by the purported victim. While on the yacht, they witnessed African-American males having sex with white blonde females, all whom was bleeding during intercourse. He was a victim of ritualistic sacrifice. His feet was cut with a blah, 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 left no scarring, He was also raped by George W. Bush I. So supposedly, Bush was on a yacht, R-word in chicks, or I don't know, kids, whatever, and they witness the intestines, the kids get sacrificed, they take the intestines out, and they start eating the shit out of the intestines. That's an allegation. That's an allegation. I'm not telling you to believe it or not to believe it. I'm asking you, how do we figure out what's true? Now, I think we should talk about it all. I don't care if they say Trump did this. I don't care if they said Bill Gates did this. I don't care if they say Bill Clinton did this. I don't care if they say George Bush did this. I don't care if they say Pusha T did this. I don't care if they say Jay-Z did this. I think we should talk about it all. My opinion. Talk about it all. Also, I actually believe every name in this Epstein list or Epstein files should be fully investigated by the Department of Justice, including the President of the United States. If your name is in this type of mess, we don't know what's true, we don't know what's false. At least could we then get the Department of Justice, which I think they all kind of did, but we need it officially, where they could come out and vehemently and categorically state on the record for all the people involved, yes, we investigated Pusha T, yes, we investigated Jay-Z, yes, we investigated Eminem, yes, we investigated Elon Musk, yes, we investigated Donald Trump, yes, we investigated George W. Bush I, and we figured out we didn't have charges and that maybe is cap. We can't prove it, but there's nothing here to prosecute, because that becomes the question. We're left with this list, and this list is more confusing now that we got it than before we had it. It's more confusing now that we got it before we had it, because everybody thought this list was going to be a very simple thing. Hey, Epstein is fucking a bunch of underage kids. He had people that was in like this blackmail type of like thing. And essentially what happened is that he he had client lists of people who like to fuck underage girls or like to take advantage of women in that setting that were being trafficked. Right? So we thought it was going to be a very simple thing. Who were the clients? Who uses services? We get to find out, okay, that's not as easy. There was a book, which was his contact book, pulled out a long time ago, that they said, that's not the list, because he has a lot of business people in the list. Okay. Or business people in the contact book. So we're like, okay, where's his client list? We can't get the proof we need. So we said, give us all the files. They give us all the files, and the files is saying all type of stuff. We don't know what it's saying now. We don't know what to believe. Said Bush raped a male victim and watched babies being dismembered while they ate feces from their intestines? What? Somebody's saying I'm being obtuse. Am I being obtuse, or I'm just not picking and choosing like y'all want to pick and choose? Because I'm down to believe it all. I'm down to believe it all. I don't give a fuck. The thing is, nobody's down to believe it all. Because everybody got like somebody who they think is innocent that got caught up in it. So we don't know what the files is. So now you got to take the files and then you got to like, oh no, now I believe this part, but not this part. Or you might be on some conspiracy theory thing. Nah, they made up these parts, but the real part is this. I thought the files were supposed to be to shut us the fuck up. But you know what they're saying now? Oh, no, it's the other files they haven't released. Then they're like, no, it's the redactions. Now the redactions, that's what it is. And yes, some of these redactions are crazy. But I'm here asking, what the hell are we supposed to make of this? Honestly. Now, when it came time to Jay-Z, hip-hop culture came out. I've never seen this before. Hey, that was false. We don't believe that. That categorically never happened. How come Jay-Z just gets the blanket pass? Like never. Oh, Jay-Z's just, no, not Jay though. Now, I want to point out in real time how some of these switch-ups are happening here, chat. And shout out to my man Charlemagne. This is my man's. I don't want nobody to try to put me against him. It's my guy. I love him always. But I got to point out that the Epstein files coming out, and I'm not a political guy that much, but he was on the radio pretty much demanding, bring it out. We need to see it, because the agenda was, this how we going to get Trump. Let's keep it a beat. The Epstein files sounded amazing when we thought it was only the elites we didn't know and we really fucking hated that were going to be accused and supposedly had some proof of doing the nasty shit. Watch.
It's funny how the news works, because Bill Clinton, wrote a letter to, Jeffrey Epstein as well for his birthday, but nobody's talking about that. Mm-hmm. And Jeffrey Epstein had a picture.
This is before the list got released. I love Charlemagne, but I got to point it out. Do y'all hear the words that's coming out of his mouth? He said, nobody is talking about Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein or the connection thereof, and he's questioning it. Now, I want y'all to listen with your ears. Did he accuse Bill Clinton of anything? No. But he seems, this is before the list comes out, he seems to be asking, well, why? Or let's talk about it. Why aren't we talking about it? I love when people say things like that. We should talk about it. Hear it again.
News works, because Bill Clinton, wrote a letter to, Jeffrey Epstein as well for his birthday, but nobody's talking about that. Mm-hmm. And Jeffrey Epstein had a picture of Bill Clinton in a dress and high heels, in his New York mansion, but nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list.
I like that.
About that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go.
Hold up now.
I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go.
Wait,
nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go.
Wait, hold up a motherfucking second.
Talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go.
Now, I keep telling y'all, give me the rules. I rock with it. Hold up now.
But nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Mm-hmm. Burn it all down. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's replay. Charlotte, you're my guy, but we do have to go on your words.
New York mansion, but nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Mm-hmm. Burn it all down.
Wait, I'm not hearing right. I think I got a little bit of earwax popping before the list was announced. And everybody who was speaking and demanding the list, they're thinking none of my homies on there, right? This is how they communicated about said list.
In his New York mansion, but nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Burn it all down. Like, that's just simple as that. Mutually assured destruction. Whoever's on that list need to go. Nobody needs to be protecting pedophiles. I don't care.
I need to play this again.
It's just funny how the news works. Because Bill Clinton,
This is poetry in motion. Every word that's said. It's funny how the news works. That's what Charlemagne says. It's funny how the news works. Oh, we heard this about Bill Clinton and Epstein, but nobody want to talk about it. Isn't that kind of ironic about what I've been saying? After the list came out, I seen some shit, and I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. Why you want to talk about that? Wait, what? Let me just play this again. Maybe I have to change the speed. It might be a little bit too fast. Can I change the speed? Can I change the speed?
It's funny how the news works. Because Bill Clinton, wrote a letter to, Jeffrey Epstein as well for his birthday, but nobody's talking about that. And Jeffrey Epstein had a picture of Bill Clinton in a dress and high heels, in his New York mansion, but nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Burn it all down. Like, that's just simple as that. Mutually assured destruction.
Burn it all down.
Whoever's on that list need to go. Nobody needs to be protecting pedophiles. I don't care what party they are.
Nobody needs to be protecting the PDFs. And we don't care what party they are. That's a motto I could get with. I like that. I like that type of talk. Oh, yeah. Let's get it. Yeah. Now they dropped the files, and would you believe?
I want to get to the Pusha T, Jay-Z, Eminem of it all, because that's what went crazy on my algorithm. I have one question. There's one question for the room. What do niggas hate more? Reading or accountability? What y'all think?
Accountability.
Reading.
I think reading too. Okay? I think reading as well. Okay? I don't understand why y'all are so quick to want to tear our own down without doing just a little bit of reading.
Wait, hold the fuck up.
Who's on the list? Everybody got to go. Burn it all down.
Wait, hold the fuck up.
Okay? I don't understand why y'all are so quick to want to tear our own down without.
Wait, no, hold the fuck up.
My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Burn it all down. Out doing just a little bit of research as well. Okay? I don't understand why y'all are so quick to want to tear our own down.
Wait, what?
About that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Burn it all down.
Wait, what?
Out doing just a little bit of research. Okay, by the way, I saw way more headlines about Pusha T and Jay-Z than I did Eminem, but that's not surprising because we love tearing our own down. Even though when you're talking hip-hop, Eminem is one of us, okay? But I don't even like the headlines I saw of him. All right? Connecting Pusha T, Jay-Z, and Eminem to something like the Epstein files? Come on, man. Okay.
Wait, what? Wait, no, hold up, Chad. Hold up.
In his New York mansion, but nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Burn it all down. Like, that's just simple as that. Mutually assured destruction. Whoever's on that list need.
Whoever.
Mutually assured destruction. Whoever's on that list need to go. Nobody.
Whoever. Well, whoever except these niggas, right?
Assured destruction. Whoever's on that list need to go. Nobody needs to be protecting pedophiles. I don't care what party they are.
Nope.
Unless they could. Yeah, we don't care if they're Democrat or Republican, but we do care if they're a third party. Oh, hold up now.
Eminem is one of us, okay? But I don't even like the headlines I saw of him. Pusha T, Jay-Z, and Eminem to something like the Epstein files? Come on, man. Okay, listen, for everyone who may not know, let me explain to you. Mentions of these artists didn't come from Epstein's personal records. They didn't come from reports supported by law enforcement.
majority of the files could not be corroborated. That's why no one's in custody. There isn't the files we currently have. There's nobody saying, hey, based on this and this, you should charge this person for this offense at this time. This is why we're about to have hearings about this. So essentially, that's what I was saying. We got a bunch of uncorroborated shit about everybody. How do we pick and choose who to talk about? Me, I say talk about them all. Investigate the president, investigate Elon, investigate this guy, investigate that guy, investigate Pusha T, investigate Jay-Z, investigate Eminem. That's what I say. Everybody. Because I heard Charlotte, he said burn it all down.
On the list. Everybody got to go.
Everybody got to go. I was with him.
Okay, these stories came from a crisis intake report, a public hotline submission.
There's multiple crisis intake reports that mentioned Trump, that mentioned other people who we already think they on some other shit, and people weren't saying, let's throw those away. But for Jay-Z and Pusha T,
a tip that some random person called in from 2019. They aren't backed by court findings, indictments, confirmed evidence. And if you actually read the stories, they just simply don't make any sense. Okay, what the hell would Jay-Z be doing with Harvey Weinstein and Attorney General William Barr in 1996? That was the year his first album came out. Do you really think Pusha T in 2007 was hanging around Harvey Weinstein and was one of the victim's handlers? In the Eminem story, the woman describes how she was handlers. In the Eminem, do you really think Pusha T in 2007 was hanging around Harvey Weinstein and was one of the victim's handlers?
Well, it's ironic that, Charlemagne says that, and then we go back to let's just go back to this. What did he say?
Wrote a letter to, but nobody's talking about that.
He says nobody's talking about that. Well, we don't know if Jay-Z did anything. We just want to talk about it. And it seems like there's a few people that says there's nothing to talk about. And that kind of goes against what you said before the list came out, before we knew Jay was on it. That's all I'm saying. We just want to talk about it. Now, I know some people say, that came from this tip line to send third, but you heard what Charlemagne just said there?
1996. That was the year his first. You read the stories, they just simply don't make any sense. Okay, what the hell would Jay-Z be doing with Harvey Weinstein and Attorney General William Barr in 1996? That was
okay. What would he be doing with them in 1996? Let's figure out what he was doing with them in 2006. Let's try to figure it out. Okay, we got the year wrong, but why was he with this nigga? Right? Why would you see how you avoid the conversation now? Why would he be doing with him in 1996? But hey, what are you doing with him in 2006? Wait, hold up. Yo, what's... Yo! In 2007, at an after party. Look! What? Oh, never mind. They got the year wrong. It wasn't 1996, it was 2006. Innocent. Straight up. Now, clearly, the relationship between these two, which, okay, I think we should just talk about it. We can't talk about it? Does anybody want to talk about it? I'm going over what Charlotte said. Charlotte said we should talk about the Bill Clinton stuff. I think we should. We should talk about the Trump stuff. I think we should. We should talk about Bill Gates. I think we should. We should talk about Jay-Z. I think we should. So, what was all of this type shit? What was this? What was that? Now, maybe because we're talking about Epstein, y'all forgot who this guy is. Let me just give y'all a real good a good remembrance, right? I'm gonna remind y'all who that is, okay? Okay, I don't know what that is. I want to remind you who that is.
It's a scene many of his accusers never thought they'd see. Harvey Weinstein, a man used to walking red carpets, now in handcuffs.
They try to act like this nigga ain't as bad as Epstein, but he up there. He on the Mount Rushmore of the essayers. Like, let's keep it a bean. They're like, what? You see everybody glossed over this? If Jeffrey Epstein was Shaq, he was Kobe. I'm tripping? If Jeffrey Epstein was Shaq, Harvey Weinstein was Kobe. So I like how nobody want to talk about it no more, but I'm keeping it a bean. If Jeffrey Epstein was Shaq, this nigga was Kobe. Don't listen to me though. They'll tell you right now.
Doing a perp walk.
To lure young women into situations where he was able to violate them sexually.
His smile vanished in court as he was formally charged with 2 counts of rape and 1 of a criminal sexual act. It's been 7 months since his behavior, long rumored in the industry, became national headlines. Lucia Evans was one of the first to tell her story. Like so many others, she says Weinstein used his powerful position in the entertainment world to lure her to a meeting, where she says he forced her to perform oral sex. That alleged 2004 encounter...
Are we going to talk about it? Oh, this ain't 1996. So because it ain't 1996, even though he's kicking it with the Mount Rushmore Hall of Famer, that is the Kobe Bryant. And Kobe, I hate to even throw your God rest your soul in this, because Harvey Weinstein is Shaq. Jeffrey Epstein is Shaq. This Kobe. But this wasn't 1996. So that means he's clear.
Led to one of today's charges. The 2 rape charges date to 2013. The accuser in that case has yet to tell her story publicly. Weinstein's lawyer says the disgraced movie mogul will plead not guilty. Okay. CBC News, New York.
Okay. Now, I can hear him already. They don't want to talk about this one. They don't want to talk about it. No, why y'all trying to tear a black man down? Huh? Why the hell would Jay-Z be hanging out with Harvey Weinstein in 1997? What about 2007? What about 2007? Okay. I already got the excuse for them. Nah. This was just a red carpet. Everybody was taking random pictures. You don't know that nigga like that. You don't bang with him. Oh, really? Well, let me ask y'all a question. You ever heard of the Khalif Browder story? There was a documentary actually put out. It was co-produced by Jigga. It was a story of a black teen that spent 3 years at Rikers without a conviction, mostly in solitary confinement after accused of stealing a backpack. It led to severe trauma and his eventual suicide. This was something was about, it really emphasized how black men were treated in the, criminal justice system, especially when they didn't have the resources to push for release from detention. It was the reality that a lot of black people were facing. And thanks to Jay-Z, he gave light to that story and he gave a platform. He co-produced this 6-part documentary series. Now, let's just go to the Wikipedia. Ironically, you want to know who else was the executive producer? Oh. Maybe it wasn't a random picture after all, right? Huh? Oh, wow. Well, the series was okay. Not only was Weinstein an executive producer, let's see who funded it. Time. The Khalif Browder story was produced by Jay-Z's Rock Nation and the Weinstein Company in association with Cinemart. Okay. Interesting. Now, in typical Jay fashion, Jay's a smart guy. I love him. Told you, consummate capitalist. Remember these pictures right here? Remember these pictures right here? He's toasting with Diddy at the brunch. Take that. They're having a blast. Look, look, yeah, oh yeah. Let's take a toast. Right? You know. Hey, you don't remember these? Do you remember these? Oh, man. All for when Diddy gets arrested, Jay puts out a statement. I ain't know that nigga like that. Hold on. I got another one. Hold on. I got another one. Y'all remember this? Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday. Let's blow out the candles together. Diddy gets arrested. December 2024, Jay-Z's attorney says him and Diddy were not friends. They were professional acquaintances. They were not friends. Professional acquaintances. Basically, I don't know that nigga like that. I don't know. These videos had me fooled. Professional acquaintance.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you as a professional acquaintance.
I love you.
Professional acquaintance.
I love you.
Professional acquaintance. Interesting. That couldn't be a pattern, right? That couldn't be no goddamn pattern. Let's see. Oh, shit. I don't know. Let's just... I don't know. There's only seat left at the spot. Harvey Weinstein gets caught up. He mentions Jay-Z in his apology. I came in the age of the 60s and 70s where the rules was about behavior were different. That was the culture then. I've learned since then it's not an excuse in the office or out of it to anyone. I realized some time ago I needed to be a better person with my interaction with the people. I have changed. I appreciate the way I behave with colleagues in the past. It's caused a lot of pain. Sincerely apologize for it. Though I'm trying to do better, I have a long way to go. This is my commitment. My journey will now be to learn about myself and conquer my demons. Over the last year, I've asked Lisa Bloom to tutor me and put together a team of people. I've brought therapists, and I plan to leave of absence for my company and to deal with this issue head on. I so respect all women and regret what happened. I hope that my actions will speak louder than words, and one day we will all be able to earn their trust and sit down with Lisa and learn more. Jay-Z wrote in 444, I'm not the man I thought I was, and I better be that man for my children. The same is true for me. I want a second chance in the community, but I know I've got work to do to earn it. I have goals that are not priorities. Trust me, this is an overnight process. I've been trying to do this for 10 years, and this is a wake-up call. I cannot be more remorseful about the people I have hurt, and I plan to do right by all of them. I'm going to need a place to channel all that anger, so I've decided I'm going to give the NRA my full attention. I hope Wayne Lapierre will enjoy his retirement. I'm going to go to do it at the same place I had my bar mitzvah. I'm making a movie about our president. Perhaps we could make it a joint retirement party. 1 year ago, I began organizing a $5 million foundation to give scholarships to women directors at USC. While this might seem coincidental, it's been in the works for a year. It will be named after my mom, and I won't disappoint her. Professional acquaintances. What? Professional? I don't know. Remember what happened with Diddy? Oh, they got you? Oh, yeah. By the way, that's my man's Jay. I'm your man's? You know what happened afterwards, right? Oh, you ain't know about this one? You think you my man's? Fuck out of here. In May 2018, Jay-Z Sean Carter sued the Weinstein Company and the studio that was co-founded by Harvey Weinstein as part of his bankruptcy proceedings. You're done. Let me hop off the boat. We were professional associates. The reason for the lawsuit, Jay-Z claimed the company, Harvey Weinstein, the guy who was, the guy that was answering questions for him, the guy that was, we're hugged up everywhere. The guy that was, the guy was, the guy. You remember the Diddy shit? I love you, brother. That's what he said. I love you too, brother. Professional acquaintance. Remember that. Nigga gets cooked. It's over. May 2018, he sues him. He claims that the company owed him $500,000 for the production fees related to 2 documentary projects. It was made in the Delaware bankruptcy court. He claimed, the guy was going through bankruptcy. He said, give me my money. I don't know you like that, gang. Okay? Eminem also joined in. And ever since then, Jay has had no contact with that guy or has no more association. Because in reality, this is a Hollywood Reporter. I want you to read this. Having known Jay on a personal level for many years. Remember, professional associate. We're thrilled to have the opportunity to expand our relationship, said TWC co-founder or co-chairman Harvey Weinstein, Jay's ability to influence entertainment and pop culture has gone well beyond music for many years. He approaches every aspect of his career with both determination and effortlessness, making him one of the leading power players in entertainment history. We have already some exceptional projects in the works, and we're excited to see what more is to come. Professional associate. I think you guys get the picture here without me having to spell it out all the way. Think you guys get the picture here.
Rock Nation?
Yeah, but it's not that I'm biased. Here's the thing, and to your point.
Oh, they say you're too biased for Rock Nation?
Yeah, but it's not that I'm biased. Here's the thing, and to your point, and I've always said, you know, when you actually know people in the business, your perception will change.
Yeah.
The reason I like Rock Nation, Desiree Perez and Jay-Z and, you know, my man B-High and Emery and all of them is because I've seen them, I've watched how they treat people that can't do nothing for them. That is the same thing with Cardi. Watch how certain individuals treat people that can't do anything for them.
Yes,
Charlamagne's smart enough to know you could do a lot for Jay-Z. He doesn't talk, you do. You could do a lot for Jay-Z. He doesn't talk, you do. When his name comes up, it's nothing to talk about. Yo, let's move past this. Let's focus on Trump. You could do a lot for him. You do the talking, he doesn't.
It's a true sign of someone's integrity.
That's when you know if a motherfucker's a good person or not.
Yeah.
I've seen all of these individuals I just named show up for people, right? Show up for causes.
They cut checks.
Show up for organizations. Seeing people make phone calls and just let them know what's going on, and they show up anonymously, sometimes not anonymously. If people find out, it don't matter. They're for the people.
Yeah.
I like people who are for the people.
They're not for the people. They're for profit. For profit. We got to point it out.
Epstein file. Like, I had to go see.
Now, just wrapping up this Epstein file conversation is this.
Files, Jay-Z's in the Epstein file, Pusha T's in the Epstein file. Like, I had to go see.
Okay.
For myself. These are
you saw it, right?
People that we grew up on, and I need to like, what? I had to go actually look. And then when you look and realize, oh, this is just a public hotline number that anybody can call and leave any type of message.
And again, now he's right about that, but I want to point out that the majority of the Epstein files are unsubstantiated, non-corroborated or uncorroborated allegations, and whether it was called into a hotline or someone claimed they were a victim and actually sat with a agent or some law enforcement person, there was not enough evidence then and now to move forward with an investigation from what we see. And I'm talking about people looking through these files, not law enforcement telling us. The entire thing is what you believe. It's pretty much hearsay. So if you think someone is already a creep, you're going to believe the things that help tell or justify your thoughts about them with that particular situation. But if you think Jay-Z is an angel, you're going to look at the fact that it's not proven. But nothing is proven.
Believe all women, Charlotte.
No. Especially when it's a woman saying that they're 300. The woman literally said, if you read the Eminem story, she goes, my tape should be easy to find. I don't even know what year she put this, by the way. I didn't look and see what year it was. She put, my tape should be easy to find because I'm 300 pounds. I slept with Eminem. They drugged me and he had sex with me. When I woke up, Diddy was recording.
That's a lot.
Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see the story about Jay-Z. The woman is like, It was Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, Attorney General William Barr, and it was some CEO of some company in 1996. Reasonable Doubt came out in 1996. Like, what are we doing?
Well, we don't have pictures with Jay and Jeffrey Epstein from my knowledge, but we definitely do with him and Harvey Weinstein eventually. And again, if I'm telling you one's Shaq and one's Kobe in terms of what they were doing, maybe we need to get the Weinstein files. Ooh, that'd be a good one. You think they're interested in that one? Okay, yeah, y'all got it. Could y'all ask them, okay, cool. Since we've now found mad pictures and videos of Jay with Harvey Weinstein, should we demand the Weinstein files that possibly could tell us maybe a little bit more about Jay-Z's relationship with Harvey Weinstein? Because you're right. I think they're right. Yeah, there was this, I guess, unsubstantiated. It was saying it was at Jeffrey Epstein's house. But we never seen a picture with Jay and Jeffrey Epstein. But there's a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. He funded a documentary with Weinstein, and Weinstein was Kobe. I hope you get the reference. Not actually Kobe Bryant, but he was Jordan and Pippen. Okay? If Epstein was Jordan, Weinstein was Pippen. So maybe what we should be calling for is the Weinstein files, whatever those are. The interviews that never came out, the grand jury testimonies and that maybe didn't lead to charges. Maybe that's what we need to do. Do you think Charlemagne or anybody else who basically told us like, yo, we're just barking up a tree that got no evidence, or that we're just making stuff up and, you know, people just want to tear down black men, do you think they would say, oh, no, you know what? That's actually a good one. We should get the Weinstein files and see if Jay-Z's in that.
No disrespect to Pusha T. You know I love Pusha T. What the fuck would Pusha T be doing around Harvey Weinstein in 2007? Like, what are we...
Selling drugs? Sounds funny, but yes.
Like, in 2000, why would Harvey Weinstein be around Pusha T in 2007? And all they said was Pusha T was a handler. That's what they said. He was a handler. What the fuck does that even mean? This shit was clear bullshit. And
Charlemagne, I'm going to show you what a handler is. This is a handler right here. Charlemagne, you're incredibly smart. This is a handler.
Well, if anything like that is happening, if that happens to one kid, any place that can happen to any kid.
Jay-Z's asked the question, and his handler steps in to answer it and deflect. You see his handler instantly shake his head.
All right, guys, let's go. You know what? This is the labor of love, Jay, and as a result, he's playing for him.
I think we know what handlers mean. Like, we don't have to act like naive, okay? We know what handlers mean.
In 2007, and all they said was Pusha T was a handler. That's what they said. He was a handler. What the fuck does that even mean? This shit was clear bullshit, and you can see who pushes the narratives. Every Drake fan page ran with that. Oh, how convenient. The weekend that Pusha T, you know, is nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys and Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys, right? Like, oh, how convenient all of a sudden. And by the way, I'm going to say something.
It's not convenient. All right, Charlemagne's he's losing me a little bit, and I'm not defending Drake fans here. I don't know who necessarily he's talking about. Yo, Charlemagne, Drake fans did not infiltrate the Department of Justice and put Pusha T's name in a document. Like, that did not happen. Like, that literally did not happen. They randomly picked a day, an arbitrary day, that they were going to release all these files, and through people looking to see, because inquiring minds, millions of people wanted to know what the hell was going on, they looked through it, and they seen Pusha T's name. Drake fans did not do that.
The weekend that Pusha T, you know, is nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys and Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys, right? Like, oh, how convenient all of a sudden. And by the way, I'm going to say something. All of this shit is going to come out. I'm not even talking about Epstein file. I'm talking about low vibrational hip hop shit right now. All of this shit is going to come out, and you're going to see who is behind so much of this stuff.
What does that mean?
You'll see. You'll see who's getting paid. You'll see who's paying them. You'll see. All of this shit going to come out sooner than later.
I think that's what people have been trying to see. Are we going to find out the Weinstein files? Could we get some type of query to the Department of Justice about the Weinstein files and maybe his adjacent connection to hip hop? Why did Harvey Weinstein need to be around Jay-Z that much to the point he's funding a film about black oppression within the prison industry complex? Him answering questions for Jay-Z? Yes, we want to know. Is that what Charlamagne is talking about? We want to know. Jay, why was this your man's? Jay, we already forgave you for the R. Kelly stuff. Because Kelly music was fire still. I ain't gonna hold you still. But Harvey Weinstein is crazy. Harvey Weinstein is crazy, bro.
What does that mean?
Hey,
you gotta give more than that.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't never got to give more than that. I give more than that when more of that comes out to give. Okay? Because more of that always comes out to give. I just always, all I do is just give you the warnings, like boom, watch, and then everybody gonna be sitting back like, oh shit, all of this shit is really targeted all the time.
Are you saying that there might be a system that exists not only within hip hop?
Ain't nobody. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was not in my bingo cards. Or listen, I'll ask Drake fans. Y'all Drake fans, did y'all manifest Jay-Z being in the Epstein files? I thought this was white people shit. I thought there would be no black people in this. Maybe Dennis Rodman or something like that. Because, Dennis Rodman being some extraterrestrial shit. Not necessarily saying, like, sex trafficking. I'm just saying, like, if you want to go to North Korea, you might see Dennis Rodman just there. He's just into some other shit. It was not in my bingo cards that Jay-Z seemingly is buddy-buddy with Harvey Weinstein, a Hall of Fame essayer, and then be named in Jeffrey Epstein's files where he's accused of doing some other shit. Come on now.
But within all forms of media where certain accounts collaborate and target other people by the use of bots and misinformation.
And the crazy thing is, it's not even, I said hip hop, but it's not even just about hip hop anymore because hip hop has so much influence. A lot of it is politically driven. Right? A lot of it is who people think, a lot of it is who people think is on what side, right? And based on what side you're on, you will get targeted by certain individuals to hurt your influence. You'll see. Just remember I said it. You'll see. But that's the crazy thing about, stories like this. Because everything isn't the same. Like the Epstein files are totally different than somebody calling a goddamn FBI hotline, leaving a fucking anonymous tip.
No, it's not. It's in the Epstein files. Like they literally released it with the thing. Because anything revolved around Epstein got all clumped together, and that's what the Epstein files are. You can't detach what you don't like. There is reports about Donald Trump in the Epstein files that came from callers who claim they were either at Mar-a-Lago or whatever, and they had a story. That's in the Epstein files as well. You don't see, well, I don't know what the fuck people close to Donald Trump is doing, but like, I'm not going to be here like, oh, nah, we're not taking this one serious. No, we're taking it all serious. If your name is in here, you're probably a freaky frog. Not saying you do nothing wrong, but that's the circles you were hanging with. That was your mans in them. Your name is mentioned because that's your mans in them. Stop playing.
And that's what I said. Those things are clearly distinctive if you choose to go motherfucking read past the headline on Shade Room.
Right.
That's all.
Okay. What do y'all think? I want to point this out too, just to let y'all know I'm keeping the same energy. I'm on Twitter, and this is just my search. Donald Trump hotline Epstein. Okay, just want to let you know. Okay, so every single mention of Trump so far. Well, I'm pretty sure there's much more, so I'm not gonna just be on this. In the Epstein files posted by Democrats for some reason, constantly crops out and amidst these facts. These were phone calls to a hotline after Trump became president. Now, I'm telling y'all, even as somebody who is not opposed to Trump, that I'm looking at Trump the same way I look at Jay-Z. But nobody want to hear that. Remember what Charlemagne said? Burn them all. Right? Complainant was spoken to and not deemed credible, involving police, requested mandatory psychiatric evaluation. No contact was made. Victim is identified as deceased. Complainant did not have confirm. Okay, phone number was bad. Okay, so a lot of these references to stories about Trump is the same thing as it was about Jay-Z, right? They're calls into a FBI tip line, and they're required to document it somehow. I'm not going to say, because I know somebody will be like, yo, you trying to save your man's Trump? Nope. Let's investigate it all. If your name in this, you look a little fishy. Let's just look at it all. What's the problem? But everyone say, yeah, we should look at it, but just not the Jay-Z ones. Like, that sound crazy. Like, let's look at the Trump shit. Nah, nigga. We finna look at them all. Anyway. Okay. Anything else about Jay-Z? I think we're good with Jay. Shout out to Jay, man. It's my guy. I love Jay. The other day, someone sent me a Rock Nation. Oh, I think it's a Rock Nation hat. It's the one with the little plane on it. I feel like it was an olive branch. I may have ruined it today because I think they're trying to get me on a Team Rock Nation. Yeah, how much you think that, how much you think Rock Nation would like pay me to just like stop talking about it? How much? Maybe I should just give him a price. $200K. I'll give you out 3 months. They're trying to send me a hat. I couldn't tell if it was a peace treaty or a threat. I was just like, damn. It's a jokey joke here. All right. All right. Okay, let's get into some of these topics here. First and foremost, I want to play this and react to it first. This is Joe Budden versus Corey Holcomb. So I don't know what really set this up, but Corey Holcomb and Joe Budden. I don't know if they're going back and forth, but Corey Holcomb addressed Joe, and after he addressed Joe, Joe addressed him. And I want to play this, and I want to get some context. Let me read. Corey Holcomb is trending again because of one of his egregious public treatment against women. Okay, all right, cool. So this is the context. On January 23rd, 2026, a video leaked online showing the comedian Corey Holcomb violently pushing a fellow comedian, Christina Payne, in the face. Okay, we're not going to show that video. It says that yeah. So anyway. Oh, by the way, the last thing on the Jay-Z thing too, because I know people like, again, I'm not only like obsessed with like this idea that maybe he was doing some weird shit, and I don't know if he was doing weird stuff. I want qualitative conversation like they have about everybody else. Like, stop the protecting. If these people actually had a good conversation and like a one that's actually valid, doesn't look like you're protecting, and they're being honest and they're actually weighing what's, because with anybody else, they'll be like, all right, if you constantly are being mentioned among these things, like, have you been living wrong? Like, whatever the case is. That's how they talk about everybody else. If it was done for Jay, I'd be cool. I'm not about it. But it feels like he's protected, and that's the problem. Also, you gotta remember, the other thing that's outside of that, JP Morgan, I think it was the CEO of JP Morgan or something like that, or somebody. It was an email about Jay-Z, that was in the Epstein files. And, this particular email, people felt like this was kind of, for them, some proof that maybe Jay-Z was bought out by like another level of elite that, he was making black people not act out to keep business going on for these bigger companies, right? So this is Jeffrey Epstein with Jess Stolly. We looked this up before. Jess Stolly, who's this? This is the CEO of Barclays. Actually, he's not JP Morgan. I think maybe he had something with JP Morgan back in the day. And the conversation was, this is Jeffrey Epstein and Jess Stolly says, you want to know why we're not Sao Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks with hip cars and white women. The group that should be in the streets, so they're saying that the group that should be protesting, they've been bought off by Jay-Z. Okay? And that's another thing I think we should talk about. Was Jay-Z compromised? I talk about me being compromised. There's like, they're talking about emails that would, they said don't listen to the random tips that came in via hotline. Well, this is an email to Jeffrey Epstein that was actually sent from Jess Stolly, and they're literally saying that the group of black people that would normally be protesting what's happening here was bought off by Jay-Z. It would actually infer to anyone with a reasonable mind that Jay-Z, who had, I always said, all the political currency in the world, is someone that the elite, like a Jeffrey Epstein or Jess Stolly, feel they could give and pay for to buy off black Americans to shut the fuck up. If that's not being compromised, I don't know what is. So again, there's many reasons to talk about why Jay-Z's name is in this. If y'all seen, we just need to give Act $1 million and we're good. Like, we've bought off Act, so we've bought this off. Y'all would have like more to talk about, but not with Jay. It's all good. Anyway, let's get back to the Corey Holcomb thing. So Corey Holcomb, he's now trending again because apparently, maybe I show the video. Trigger warning. This is Corey Holcomb. There's a video of him hitting a woman that came out, and is this video. So apparently he was denying this video really ever existed and denying that he ever touched this woman. But if you watch this video, you realize, look like they're into an argument. This is Corey Holcomb. This is a woman. And apparently he steps up to her and then and then they get into a fight. Okay, so it looked like he put hands on her, and then there's people that look like defending her, and it turns into whatever. The thing is, supposedly he had denied that this video existed, right? Let's put denies. So he denied that this video. So they're saying Corey Holcomb lied, saying she hit him. So his story was she hit him, and now the video shows he hit her first, right? this was back in February, and I think this turned to something TMZ was covering. This is a woman in question.
Now, the story is being flipped totally about the truth and what happened. That you hit him. That's what now I'm hearing is word on the street that I'm an attacker now or something. Why do you think he's saying that? He doesn't want to go to jail, probably most likely. I mean, it is an assault. Yeah. And at the same time, there are witnesses who saw what happened, but he also has people who are willing to lie for him as well. Yeah. And is there a camera at the Laugh Factory? There's cameras all over the Improv, and that is the footage that we're talking about. Footage shows Corey Holcomb reaching over 2 people and punching me out, and my whole head goes back.
Now, this is what she said back then. I don't know if I have a video of Corey Holcomb denying it, but he had said this was cap. He was, let me see if I could. Christina Payne. Let me see if I can find him addressing it directly. Corey Holcomb, man. Let's go to YouTube. Corey Holcomb. Hey. Let's see if I can see the denial. Denies. I'm trying to find it. Okay.
More questions. I'm like, nope, I don't know nothing like that.
All right, it's probably got to be an old video. Where is it at? Should be like a year ago, right? No? Oh, okay.
Yo, man.
Nah, they not finna fight no more, man.
I've been thinking that. I'm like, it's some motherfuckers out here.
So this is a year ago.
Woke up on you and ain't got a dime.
Man.
And expect you watching, laying up, letting it pop. I got a bitch out here lying on me.
Here we go.
But I got a whole bunch of people saying she done the same thing to me.
Oh, wow.
Wait. Not only do they say it, man, okay, look. It's a crazy broad out here. Which one? Let's just say the latest one.
Right.
Man, this bitch is at the courthouse lying like a motherfucker, but I'm finna go in here with all these motherfucking affidavits and witnesses showing who this bitch is. Bitch, you can't win in no courthouse. You a crazy bitch. Everything is justified once the motherfucking judge see who you are.
Okay. Ain't even no lights on. It's a sick motherfucker.
This bitch did nothing but leave a path of destruction through her whole back. And so he was jammed up. So they had to, do what they had to do to get her back. You can hire someone who can help you.
You know that those
niggas kill each other.
Right.
About people.
Man, let me borrow one of them motherfuckers.
And now that I've got the names and I got screenshots of text, I can't wait to break this story.
Man.
And I ain't never done nothing to this funky ass, untalented bitch.
Okay, so he said that, and then clearly there's actual footage, right? And the footage came out. I don't know why he even would be talking like that. Corey Holcomb. I don't know if he knew it was not true like that. I don't know why he'd be talking like that, but of course now the footage is out, and it's this.
So it's hard punching me out, and my whole head is who saw what happened. That you hit him. That's what now I'm hearing is word on the street that I'm an attacker now or something. Why do you think he's saying that? He doesn't want to go to jail, probably.
Okay. So that happened, and then Joe, I believe, and his co-host said something about him on the podcast. Basically said that he's a piece of shit for doing that, I think. And after they commented on him doing that, he responded back to Joe. And let me see. Yeah, he responded back to Joe like this. Hold on, let me find it. Sorry, chat.
About bullshit.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm not going to take too long on this particular story, but as most know that the Grammys just passed this weekend. They were here in LA. Of course, Kendrick cleared out the whole house, and now he has surpassed Jay-Z by the most wins for a rapper. So yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Come on, man.
And he was there, and he looked great. Kendrick looked really good. Everybody did.
He trying to give you that elderly
Oh,
box.
stop! Oh my God, I like his relationship with his wife. I like that.
It's wrinkled at the bottom. No, I'm just fucking.
That's wrinkled at the bottom.
Your box.
What?
Okay.
Oh, you ain't gonna hold it out?
Here we go.
Oh, don't worry. Motherfuckers want a piece of you that they like, but
see.
All right. So he addressed Joe here.
No.
Do you know? I sat on where her breasts were. Guys, I just gotta say something.
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Fruit Booty Buttons. See, I never say their name.
Yeah.
As you should.
I got a name for him. Fruit Booty Buttons.
I know you.
And his crew. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater. Was talking about how he sat. They said the girl said he sat on my stomach and made me have a miscarriage. You know what he said? I sat on top of her titties or something. He said I sat on where her breast was. That's where I was sitting.
Oh wow.
Fruit Booty Buttons, I know you ain't talking crazy about me, homie. I know you ain't talking crazy about me, homie. I mean, most of the time, all you guys who say what you say, I don't care what you say online. I expect you to talk about me. Yeah, Fruit Booty Buttons. They know who I'm talking about. Fruit Booty Buttons. That motherfucker say, I think he said I was a bitch-ass nigga or something. Yeah, I'll be a bitch-ass nigga online. Online, I'm a bitch-ass nigga. Man to man, I ain't no bitch-ass nigga, homie. But man to man, you a serial woman beater. Everybody do the homework on Fruit Booty Buttons and all of the women that have accused him of actually beating them up. Since you want some heat, since you couldn't leave me alone. Everybody do the research on Fruit Booty Buttons and see how he is a serial woman beater. Fruit Booty Buttons? Yeah. Yeah. You and your crew talk about that since y'all need subject matter, because y'all admit y'all watch me. I don't watch y'all. I just saw that. I saw that clip where y'all was talking crazy about me. I'm like, what? They talking crazy about me? This man jump on women. Do you think this is a lie? A lot of men who mess with men and women fight women. Is that a lie? It is my opinion that a lot of men who sleep with men and women fight women.
Well, if your girl if you let your girl hit you with a strap, then you got the right to hit her back.
You stupid. That's why, Craig, you my lifesaver, dog. You come with it. You come with it on the real.
If you take a dick.
Some people say, "Who is Fruit Booty Buttons?" Look in the. I can't say it.
The chat is.
Look in the chats know who I'm talking about. Him and his crew talking about me, calling me out my name. I know y'all ain't talking about my name, boy. What Nas say? You stay on my dick. You love my style. Damn, y'all come with ideas for y'all show by watching me.
I didn't know he said something.
Man, them motherfuckers be talking cash money.
All you gotta do is call Method Man. You know he's scared of Method Man.
Who is?
Your boy.
Have you ever seen Method Man up close?
Method Man is a savage.
Method Man is a big motherfucker, dog.
Yeah, but he.
Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater.
You know who else?
Now explain that this week.
You know who else?
Cake ass nigga.
Beat up on women?
Who?
Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner beat.
All right. Well, Joe responded rather quickly, and I'll post Joe responded here. Check this out.
Fight well enough to do this with me. Like, we have video with you. You're not smart enough, strong enough. Corey Holcomb, you don't fight well enough to do this with me. Like, we have video with you. You're not smart enough, strong enough, big enough, fast enough to do none of this you talking about with me. We saw you with the homie Anton. He asked you to walk outside, and you remained stationary, Corey Holcomb. Please keep my name out of your mouth, and don't take anything I'm saying as like a threat to you. I wouldn't plan on doing nothing when I see you. Actually, if I saw you and we were breathing the same airspace, I would take it as a threat to me, a threat from God, a threat from life that we even in the same fucking circumference, nigga. Corey Holcomb, your fall from disgrace has been one that should be studied, from kind of funny to kind of bummy to I'm just the dummy. You over there struggling. You look a sandwich away from welfare, you dusty dog shit in the face looking motherfucker, boy. Corey Holcomb, I can't believe that you are engaging this way when you fight that way. Honestly, it's over. You over there just lonely and poor. Your co-host look bad. Not the woman. I'm not talking about her. Everything over there look bad. I know you down bad because you on a Costco table podding in front of a fake plant that appears to be dying. You failed at fatherhood. You hate yourself. You hate your daughter. Your daughter hates you. You failed at fatherhood, finances, you failed at funny, your pod sucks, you failed at fodder, you just a failure all around the board. And don't forget the original point, you don't fight well enough to do none of this with nobody. So prayers up to Corey Holcomb. We're not going to go back and forth in an exchange because I just don't feel the need to do that with you. I was just shocked to see that you still had a voice over there.
Damn. You should have did that over the ether beat.
Yo, who y'all got? I know you guys love 5150. Joe's my guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll score it as this. Joseph, I didn't know you still had this in you, brother. This was a calm ether, a reading of epic proportion. You freestyled it off the head. Pause. I will say, damn, that was bad. That was nasty. That was nasty.
Because I just don't feel the need to do that with you. I was just shocked to see that you still had a voice over there.
Damn. You should have did that over the ether beat.
No, man, please. For Corey, please. Corey over there, no shape up, a dusty derby. Corey looked like he looked like Grandless Pooba.
Oh, no, stop it.
Grandless Pooba. Corey over there looking like the store runner for a black biker gang. Corey looked like he covered in just warts and scabs. Corey looked ashy yet damp. Like he like there's no reason why he shouldn't have the time for a back and forth with nobody right this second. It looked bad. It looks bad. It looks bad over there. And that's before he started losing all these gigs because of that video that came out. So prayers up to you, my brother. You're going to need it.
I didn't know, Joe, I didn't know this was still in your bag. I didn't know this was still in your wheelhouse. This was nasty. Corey, don't get mad at me. I really don't have a problem with you. I feel like we've said stuff about each other, but I don't have a problem with you. Don't really know your issues, and this is my usual demeanor when it comes to like things like that. It makes it tough because there's a video of you with the woman, so there's no way. You know, a lot of times when there's accusation of men with women, I always implore men who are in this industry to just pause. Take, like, you know, for example, Shorty saying whatever about backdoor tie. I know that guy's scum, but you also got to realize that these allegations are, you know, very damaging. And if you don't really know the way, you have to be measured in how you deal with it. And I probably would be the same with Corey. You know, I don't know him. I don't have a problem with him, but there's a video. So, like, if someone saw the video and commented that you're whatever, it's kind of going to have to own up to that for a little bit. It's not one of those, like, mind your business. It's like mind your business if people don't know what happened, but look like people saw what happened and they probably said whatever. So now you're upset at him because he probably commented on it, or you're looking at it like, how could you comment? You're worse than me. I get all that, but, you know, at the end of the day, in both of y'all going back and forth, your response to him, and you are the comedian, yo, Joe, and I'm not saying it because I did a show with Joe. Joe cooked you, bro. if I was you, I wouldn't even respond back. I think there's other things you should probably talk about. Joe got it.
What else? What else we got going on?
Now, that didn't end there. And I didn't know, I guess this was the thing. So Jason Lee, if you guys don't know, owner of Hollywood Unlocked, he's now a politician in Stockton, California. He was accused of some things in, he's like one of the mayors or something of Stockton, California. He recently spoke out about Joe Budden criticizing him. And he has some really scathing remarks about Joe Budden. And Joe did respond as well. So let me just go to what Jason Lee first said about Joe Budden. And let me see if I can find it. So, hold on. Am I tripping? Jason Lee. Because he said something recently. Jason Lee. Oh, yeah, Joe is really popular. I can't find other people clips against him. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is, I think. I have to find it on YouTube. January 13. Or maybe it was this. No, it said Joe Budden. Oh, right here. This was it.
I'm not done, though, with you, Joe Budden, you fat neck, sloppy bottom. Looked at the news, and we've seen him over the years take on people. He's a big old punk, and the only reason why he comes for me is because I'm gay, and that's what these queens do. Wait, hold on. Only women, because that's what typically, I'm saying.
Allegedly.
Straight men who are struggling with their sexuality do. I know there's been lots of rumors about you being an undercover punk. You know what I mean? You only fight with women and you only fight with gays. But you met your match because all you're going to do is go on your show with all your little fat co-hosts. And this is not for Mark because Mark is, there's one person whose head so far, his teeth are on your teeth. And
oh, shit. Let me play it then. Oh, shit. I guess this was it. Nigga was going in on Joe.
And I gave this white throat troglodyte a reading that I'm sure he got. Take a look at this video. Just here winding down my vacation with an illustrious facial and Botox treatment because, y'all been trying to get me to crack. But one thing I never do is crack under pressure. And one thing a diamond I'm talking about. He's had them big old lips. Sleepwalking He's had them big old lips around mics. I'm not saying Michaels. I said Mike's, as in Mike's. He's a podcaster. And I got into this thing with a podcaster because he had a lot to say. For those of you who may have missed it, this is what Joe Budden said on his show when he thought that I did something wrong. Take a look.
Jason Lee. Now, let me tell you something, Jason Lee. This is why I don't f with you. But we squashed our shit, but this is why I don't f with you. I've been on Hollywood Unlocked ever since the story is broken. I ain't seen a peep. I'm just waiting for you to post your shit.
You want him to unlock his own shit?
Yeah. Unlock that shit. You can't take the money from the risk and litigation fund to wilding out so they could do a May event in the town. And then he went to City Hall and doubled down. Jason Lee. Man, what do you think about this? As someone who used to work with him and has a close understanding, like inside source, like a source for this. Like as someone that has inside knowledge of his inner workings and the business infrastructure over there at Hollywood, how do you feel about this? Man? As someone that's worked closely with Jason Lee for 10 years.
Well, 4.
Which is 10. How do you feel about this? Mel always looked like the lights just got cut on. How do you ask that question? Mel, are you awake, girl?
I am. I don't even know how to respond because I'm just.
You just came from that black journalist. From that black journalist of Canada and Cleveland conference with Rebecca.
Maria Sharapova.
What the f is going on in here?
I just heard it for the first time, so I'm like processing what they just said, and I'm just like, I don't know how to respond.
He's not gonna get at you if you comment. That's what you concerned. We will fry him up.
I'm not concerned about that. I don't know. I'm just processing what I was just told.
He took $50,000 and paid Wildin' Out so they could continue, won't cancel the show in Stockton
from the risk and litigation fund.
That's it. What do you feel about that?
Risk and litigation sound like the last place you should take this. Niggas need this. It's risky.
And then obviously now it's been cleared up. So I posted that and I had some of my friends share it across their platforms. We put it on Hollywood Unlocked and I put it everywhere because I want to make sure that in case he was busy in his dog, that he could take a break to hear the message. We all know that Joe moves to the beat of his own drum unless he's beating a woman down the stairs, but that's only when they're pregnant. We've looked at the news and we've seen him over the years take on people. He's a big old punk. And the only reason why he comes for me is because I'm gay, and that's what these queens do. Wait, hold on. Let me give you one more thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's for you, Joseph. And you know what? Here's the deal. I don't know what you use your mouth for. Although if you ask people in Jersey, there's a lot of rumors. Keep my name out of it because my name has been in your mouth. I had to catch myself because I am still a vice mayor. But honestly, that BB and vice mayor is not going to stop me from telling you what I think. You know, you only fight with women and you only beat on women because that's what typically, I'm going to say,
Allegedly.
straight men who are struggling with their do. I know there's been lots of rumors about you being an undercover punk. And you know what? Now your skirt's starting to show. You know what I mean? You only fight with women and you only fight with gays. But you met your match because all you're going to do is go on your show with all your little fat co-hosts. And this is not for Mark because Mark is fit. By the way, Mark, I love you on the show and I love Mona on the show. And I love some of the other people who are rational. There's one person whose head's so far up your his teeth are on your teeth, and I don't know his name because he's a nobody, but I think he said something to Melissa like, oh, he ain't gonna come for you because I'm gonna protect you. What you gonna do, you fat slob? You ain't nothing but a fill-in. You are an extra at best, and when Joe gets done with you, you're gonna be gone. He didn't pay Rory and Mal. That's why they had to leave and go get their own gig. You're a loser too. And you know what? When losers sit with other losers, you deserve everything you get. And I'm going to tell you right now, any of you on that Joe Budden podcast, any of your teeth slip, and I get it, baby, I'm going to go ahead and get into it because you know what? Guilty by association. You sit with a loser, you lose. And it's time to cut your losses because I'm going to cut mine.
Okay, well, Joe responded to that.
I don't even know how to transition from that.
Word at all.
Who else I need to talk? There's a few niggas I've been needing to talk to. I just been letting it linger for a little bit.
Do another one.
Do another one?
Yeah.
Who?
Whoever on your mind.
You got a little mental list? I have a list. I have a list, but on my list, because I'm so good-hearted, I try not to really talk about people that I know for a fact hate themselves. Because there's nothing that I can say or do. The job is done already. Like, so I normally wouldn't talk to Corey Holcomb. I don't talk to Jason Lee because I know that's how he heals. He heals from engagement and being in close proximity to celebrities. And I'm a celebrity, so it's no point in wasting time to do that. I can't make niggas hate themselves more than they already do. Jason Lee has watched his brother die in his arms. His dad hates him because he sucked dick, and he's watched countless men go in and out of his mom's room as she was selling pussy to support him. There's nothing that Joe Budden can say to make Jason Lee hate himself any more than he already does. But prayers up to you, another one. I'm praying for all you niggas.
Yo, when did Joe get this mean?
I just had to get that out of the way. Sorry, but I mean, just a little pal.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Nah, this is personal. This reminded me of me and Ruri. I ain't gonna lie. I remember when I clowned Ruri so bad where I know that nigga was punching air in the room and he was like, yo, I'm about to show up to this nigga's house and drop something in the mailbox. Like, I remember that moment. I was clowning that nigga.
From engagement and being in close proximity to celebrities. And I'm a celebrity, so it's no point in wasting time to do that. I can't make niggas hate themselves more than they already do. Jason Lee has watched his brother die in his arms. His dad hates him because he sucked dick, and he's watched countless men go in and out of his mom's room as she was selling pussy to support him. There's nothing that Joe Budden can say to make Jason Lee hate himself any more than he already does. But prayers up to you, another one. I'm praying for all you niggas. I just had to get that out of the way. Sorry, but I mean, just a little pow. Let niggas know I did indeed hear what they had to say. And it's important because when you're going back and forth with gay niggas, really, like what do I look like? I can't go back and forth with a gay nigga as an ally and an advocate for that community.
It's true. Like, they keep saying that, ever since Lil Baby been ducking a fight, they're like, yo, Act, well, what about you and Saucy? And I'm like, yeah, bro, like, you know, there was like no fear of saucy. It's like, I'm a Jamaican man. I can't be going back and forth or even rumbling with a homosexual. Like, me and a homosexual, like, no disrespect. Again, I respect and that community. I hope they flourish, but we can't do nothing physical, period. It ain't in the cards. Not with me. Feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't really want to go back and forth, which I'm good. He's saying the same thing.
Sorry, but I mean, just a little pow. Let niggas know I did indeed hear what they had to say. And it's important because when you're going back and forth with gay niggas, really, like what do I look like? I can't go back and forth with a gay nigga as an ally and an advocate for that community, offend some other people trying to diss one person. That's not in my heart. And I don't really speak like this because I believe in the power of words and karmic retribution, but sometimes some of these niggas deserve it, man. So that's going to be the end of that. And if it's not, then we'll get into that other tea out there about you being an old Niners fan.
What I mean?
You like Steve YoungBoy. That's right. That's right, old Niners fan. I ain't talking football. What you think? That tea don't come our way about the pay for play with the young boys out there? You know Steve Young. Y'all know Steve Young, one of the greatest Niners quarterbacks of all time, right?
I don't watch football.
Ah, got it.
Me either.
He was the quarterback right after Joe Montana, man. So, yeah, I mean, all is well out there, but peace and love. Peace and love.
You can't end that with peace and love.
Peace and love
it is
to
peace
everybody.
And love. Because I be chilling, man, but niggas.
Interesting. Well, wow. Well, damn. And some other developments. We're just going to keep it moving here, people. We're not going to slow up at all. It appears that NBA YoungBoy is now reaching out to Nicki Minaj. From a tweet that seems to originate from his Twitter, he says, listen, and let me look at it. You know, he said, Lord, I need healing. I can't move on. Not too sure what he's talking about. Then he says, Nicki, this your little nigga. I don't know what's going on, but I love you and I need you. So it looked like he's calling upon Nicki Minaj. You know, I've spoken to YoungBoy not too long ago. Unfortunately, I try to keep, our conversation as close to the chest as possible, especially with things that I feel like he is confiding in me. I'll say YoungBoy at this moment, it's not that he's not well. As much as you would think, he's not happy. And I think he's trying to find the way to be happy. And whatever you want to think that is, or whatever you think is not, I'm not going to necessarily kind of go down that rabbit hole with you to clear up. But, I'm praying for him. And I take this tweet, as something that is serious. If he's saying, Nicki, I need you, I would probably assume that the forces of the industry and the forces of the world are against him. And I think he probably looks at Nicki Minaj, and despite what people have said about Nicki recently, I think he looks at Nicki as someone who's fearlessly going against him. You know what I mean? And them going against just the system and just everyone. And whatever she's saying or whatever she's thinking is not popular. And she's not looking for approval before she expresses herself. She's just doing her. And I think that's where YoungBoy's at as well. And I think Nicki Minaj having that same mindset and being unwavering, I think it'll probably help YoungBoy if that's one of the things ailing him. Like when he spoke to me, I'll give you a little bit of it, even though I'm not going to give you much, but he didn't necessarily mention that type of stuff. It was, more interpersonal, but, one thing with YoungBoy, he's always very honest with his opinion, what he feels. He's never, he pops his shit, kind of comes off, it's like a gangster, but he's not ever too prideful to be like, this is how I feel, and I feel hurt, or I'm sad, or I'm going through something, or I need someone, which I think that's dope, okay? So, Nicki Minaj, YoungBoy, I would hope it's a little bit more than music. Obviously, they've made music before and it turned out great, but I do believe that when he tweets this out, it's not just about music. He could do music with anyone. Half of Lil Durk's former friends are trying to be friends with YoungBoy these days. I know it's sad, you know. Maybe they got tired of paying the commissary or whatever, but they're all trying to get cool with Wabi. And it is what it is, you know. This is an industry filled with fake artists and fake friends, and, you know, it is going to be what it is. But I do, you know, so music aside, and obviously I'm not talking about a female like Nicki Minaj, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm not thinking about music when I think about this. I'm thinking about hopefully YoungBoy and Nicki has some type of rapport where he trusts her and he trusts her opinion, her vision, and, you know, understands her for what she is, and maybe she could connect with him on a wavelength that many other people can't. Okay? Alrighty then. Trippie Redd and Elliot Grange. Let's look at that. So Trippie Redd, if you don't know, he signed to 10K Records, just like 6ix9ine, just like my label, Academy Records. We're all on 10K Records. Now, the guy you see pictured here is Elliot Grange. He's the son of Lucian Grange, the CEO of UMG. And at some point last year, instead of, like, you know, people thought he was going to succeed his father when his father retired, he was going to just take his job as CEO of Universal Music Group. And also, you know, well, maybe not chairman of the board at that point, but he was going to take the CEO reign. However, what it ended up turning into is that Elliot Grange's label went to a competitor, Warner Music Group. And not only did he go there, he did a really unique deal with Warner Music Group that ended up shaping and, you know, sculpting this idea that Warner was trying to have from the get-go, which is called Atlantic Music Group. So you have, obviously, Atlantic, you have 300, you have the YSLs of the world, you have some of Warner proper, and there's like 2 more labels that all connect into this music group. And 10K is underneath that as well. So technically, you know, if I sign someone under my label deal, which, you know, I haven't asked for funding in a while, so, you know, I need to talk to him about that because, you know, I forgot how much money. You don't know my contract with them? I think I was supposed to get like $250,000 every quarter. So I think it was $1 million a year to sign people. I stopped asking for it because it was a loan. Well, that's what every record contract is. So I had like $250,000 a quarter to sign people. I think I had $70,000 a month. Was it a month or a quarter for overhead? And I used to, like, you know, I could like pay an A&R or whatever. And then what else? I had another thing. And then Lil Ack had his own thing. But, bro, I stopped asking the label for money, bro. Like, bro, like, they sent me, what people don't realize, they send you like a statement of how much they spent, how much you owe, how much you've grossed. And when you see that, you start feeling like you've signed up for a loan. Now, granted, they're not going to, like, take you to court. And they'll just hold you on the shelf until maybe you get hot again or whatever. But I stopped taking that money. I ain't going to lie to you. I stopped. Yeah. I stopped years ago. But I'm pretty sure if I hit them now and be like, yo, I'm back into the label stuff. Hey, give me send me the $250,000 for the next couple months that I could sign somebody. These days, you sign a nigga for like $50,000. Actually, not even that much, unless you're hot. $30,000, $15,000. But I ain't want it no more, bro. I was just like, I feel like it was a loan. It felt too much like a loan. I was just like, ew, I'm good. Anyway, Trippie signed a 10K. 10K is on their Atlantic Music Group. And he's claiming that he can't drop because of whatever. And this is what he said.
Profile picture is, nigga. Listen, if you want to know who my profile picture is, nigga, you feel me? Just click the app, man. Tell that nigga drop the album, man. It's the nigga that signed me, man. Tell that nigga drop the album.
Okay. Perfect. So he says this is Lucian Grange's son, Elliot Grange, and he's saying, yo, he won't drop my project. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is probably promo. It's probably promo.
And niggas keep saying who my profile picture is, nigga. Listen, if you want to know who my profile picture is, nigga.
Go tell him to drop NDA, and he tags Elliot Grange. Nah, I honestly believe that this is promo. Shout out to Elliot. Elliot's a good guy. You know, I hung out with Elliot a lot before I even, did the label deal with him. Elliot's the only person, well, not only person. Elliot was a person who I seen, but the nigga had former Navy SEAL security. And I was thinking, why the fuck does a guy who, if nobody ever showed you his picture, needs the wildest security? You know what I mean? Actually, when I was going to X's funeral, and I actually missed the funeral, I'm so mad about that. Elliot gave me like his off-duty police connects. Because I didn't know what rapper was going to be there. But I'm like, I got to go pay respect to X. And somehow we didn't make it. But yeah, like label owners, they be having Navy SEALs. Like, and when you might think about it, like, how come label owners who most people don't know their face have better security than rappers and other people? You know why? Because they don't play around. You get what I'm saying? You remember Elliot Grange is the person that signed 6ix9ine. And
niggas keep saying who my
they essentially go to court. They go to court. The judge says, 6ix9ine, I'm not gonna revoke you or whatever, but you can't say Sue Woo no more. None of that blood stuff. You can't say it no more. Elliot, who showed up on behalf of 6ix9ine to support him, said, all right, let's go to I think it was Mr. Chow or some Philippe's or some big restaurant in New York. It tells 6ix9ine to go there. 6ix9ine shows up. The idea was that the judge just banned 6ix9ine from doing all gang stuff. You're not going to show up with your gang, right? Your label owner showed up there to support you. 6ix9ine shows up. I don't think he showed up with them, but right after Shotty and a bunch of gang members show up. So 6ix9ine and the label owners upstairs, which is Elliot, and they're supposed to be like having dinner. Downstairs is Elliot's security to make sure no one comes up. This is private. Guess who pops up? Shotty. There's a guy named Crippy and like 3 other dudes. Guess who's at the door? 2 people. 2 law enforcement guys. They're not realizing this guy is having like actual, like most people don't get actual law enforcement. They be just getting some bullshit. So the guys tell him, hey, listen, yo, guys, you guys got dip. No one could go upstairs. That's our orders. No one could go upstairs. Shotty and them said, what are you talking about? My niggas upstairs. We're going upstairs. Fuck you. They tell me you can't go upstairs. Somebody hits one of the security guards over the head with a chair or something outside. And it's not security because, well, it is security, but it's off-duty cops. The off-duty cops immediately, this is New York City where nobody has guns or you're not supposed to. The one guy gets hit over the head with a chair. The other guy backs out his gun. Bow, bow, bow. Shoots the dude in the stomach. He shoots Crippy. Fortunately, he didn't die, but he was on a shit bag for like the next year. You want to know why a label owner hires off-duty cops everywhere? After the cop or the off-duty cop shot the nigga in his stomach and now he's on a shit bag, the nigga who got shot got arrested. Yo, that's why you gotta get the cops, man. They shot the nigga and he got arrested. Ain't that a double whammy? So they shot him and they shot other people, or they shot one person, but then everybody got arrested. So, yeah, Elliot Grange is, he is the son of royalty. Drake beefing with his father. The industry's nepotism. He's a really young guy. Actually, he's Elliot Grange. Let's look at him. Elliot Grange is 32. He's 32. It's kind of like, this is my man's. I ain't gonna lie. This is actually my man's. I'll fuck with him. Hey, he told me one of the dopest things ever. Like one time I'm meeting him, right? And he used to have like a penguin as his fucking, I feel like it was kind of like Illuminati. When I found out who his father was, and I met his father one time, he's in New York, and I remember his father came over to our table and dapped him up, and father shook my hand, and I was just like, wait. But of course, he's the son of Lucian Grange. He said one of the dopest thing to me. Remember, the reason why he fucked with me is He's a British dude that came over from Britain. His father's already running the music business. He doesn't really know too much about music, but like he's smart. And he's kind of catching on. And when it comes to like, he would listen to people around him, which is, really dope, because sometimes you'll have these guys who are not from the culture or they're white and they come in and they're like, I know what's popping. Like, no, you don't. But he would listen. And if, not to really like air out all his connects, even though I feel like I am at this point. P from QC loves him. Who else? Him and P from QC really locked in. They were both over at Capitol. He has a bunch of like really good like cultural dudes that tell him, and he's so humble. He doesn't say, I'm gonna do this. He listens to people. So he'll go off your opinion. Like when it came to 6ix9ine, he told me, he says, you tell me what to do. I don't know. Like, he literally would tell me that, right? Like, I felt like I was a label. He was like, it's like, I don't know. You know the space, blah, blah. Just tell me what to do. And, really humble guy. But, again, still the son of Elliot Grange. Lucian Grange. And he told me one of the dopest things. Man. I can't remember what had happened. And while talking to him, he said this to me. He says, Ak, like, you're so talented. You're the biggest media guy. Like, you, Danny, you guys have figured out the internet. I just want to, he's probably souping me up, whatever. But he said the dopest thing to me. He said, yo, Ak. He said, I spend so much money. Listen to this part. He said, I spend so much money on PR. I spend so much money overall to not get mentioned in the media. Dopest shit ever. I've never seen some shit. Because everybody spends money because they're attention whores. He said he exhausts his budget like about him because he don't want to get talked about. He never wants to be the topic of conversation. Very counter of other people. Everybody wants the attention. So he used to pay PR for him not to be mentioned. So don't talk about him. You get what I'm saying? Which, that's that shit. That shit, Anyway, he ended up marrying, which, by the way, shit, power marries power. He married Sophia Richie. I don't know if you guys know that. Him and Sophia Richie actually got married. Sophia Richie, if you guys don't know, she was a social media personality and model and whatever. She's the youngest daughter of Lionel Richie. Okay? But really high up there. And also her relatives are Nicole Richie's her assistant. And now obviously Sir Lucian Grange is her father. Yeah, but they got married and congrats to them. But yeah, he's the guy who's now running Atlantic Music Group. That's his show. He gets to do whatever. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. I'll vouch for him. Everything I've dealt with him with is he's a good guy. Really good guy. Yeah, see? He actually, and maybe why Trippy's mad. I don't know if like Trippy's not getting the attention or funding or whatever. 10K Projects started in 2016 because of Trippy and 6ix9ine. He signed Trippy first, and then he signed 6ix9ine. And then from that, they popped off. They later signed Internet Money, which was also successful. They signed Ian Dior. They signed Ice Spice. Who else they signed? They signed Lil Lack, the Academy. And a bunch of other people. Yeah. Yeah, who else 10K Projects had? Oh, shit. They don't got me on there. Yeah. Where's Lil Lack? If they don't got, OT7 Kwani's over there. How come my name ain't on this? I feel bad. Or the Academy should be on this. What the fuck? Former artist. 6ix9ine still kind of over there, They ain't letting 6ix9ine go. Who else? Trippy, YTV Fat. I didn't know that. Rich Amiri. They were trying to own that, colored hair era for a while, but I think they moved on and they brought in some other company called, Homemade, and they had some success with like some bands. Like some of these are bands that you might not know what the fuck they are. Where they at? I can't tell. Whatever. Anyway. So I guess me saying that is, brother, like, you know, without being, you know, I could sit here and cap to you and be like, oh my God, he's exposing the industry. I'm pretty sure this is part of trying to get your album out. Trippie Redd, you know, I thought the Samaya thing was great. I thought he should have leaned into that a little bit more. NDA. But look like now the current promo is go tell my boss, which, you know, rappers do from time to time. 50 used to say, go tell Jimmy Iovine. Go tell my boss or tell the guy who owns my label to drop the album, right? And he tags him. So.
Who my profile picture is, nigga. Listen, if you want to know who my profile picture is, nigga, you feel me? Just click the app, man. Tell that nigga drop the album, man. It's the nigga that signed me, man. Tell that nigga drop the album.
Yeah. There you go. Yes, I really don't think he's beefing them. He would have aired them out about more things. Like, they robbed me of this, they took this from me. Hey, let's touch on this Floyd Mayweather thing real quick. Remember we were talking about Floyd? There's a lot more details that's coming out because the lawsuit that was filed, right? So the lawsuit that was filed, that had Floyd suing, like, you know, Showtime and, you know, Al Heyman, or he didn't sue Al Heyman, but he mentioned him a lot. But essentially, we got the first glimpse that maybe Floyd Mayweather Jr. might not be as rich, or, you know, might still not be as rich as people thought. And there's more details that came out. So the details is this, right? Let me try to lay this out in a good format for you. Okay. Here. All right. So it gives us like a really good picture of like Floyd Mayweather's, you know, finances and other things. And this is where we kind of get to it. So there's this idea, and by the way, I think even Forbes has reported that Floyd is one of the rare fighters that, due to his athletic activity, there's been at least $1 billion in payout. I don't know if necessarily to him, but like because of how great he's been. So the lawsuit's kind of out, and now we have much more details that's going to give some context to it. So it says non-party Al Heyman was Mayweather's longtime manager and advisor and the alleged masterminds of a financial scheme. So he's claiming that Al Heyman robbed him, but he didn't sue him. He says, a Harvard-educated businessman with a background in music promotion, Heyman is known for operating behind the scenes and maintaining extreme secrecy in dealings. Mayweather considered Heyman a father figure at the time and relied on him to manage virtually all aspects of his finances and contract. This position of trust and confidence made Heyman a fiduciary to Mayweather under California law. Heyman, however, has a reputation for leaving surprisingly few fingerprints on transactions and disclosing as little as possible to those he worked with. Okay. Says non-party is also Jeff Morris, who is a certified public accountant and tax attorney who was engaged allegedly by Heyman without Mayweather's consent to handle Mayweather's tax and accounting matters. Morris was a signator and a controller on several bank accounts where Mayweather fight earnings were deposited. For example, an account at first, was designated to receive revenue from at least one of Mayweather's fight. Morris's role in the scheme includes facilitating transfers and concealing information at Heyman's discretion. Basically, they're saying that Al Heyman was the person that was utilizing other people to try to hide the money.
We're going to investigate this further and further.
Well, he brought other people in, and the other people said, hey, something's not right here. The guy's not returning your calls. He was pressing them for the money and not returning calls. And Heyman keeps claiming he's sick. And, you know, is he sick or is he dodging? Is he using this? And like Vincent Gigante, the then head of the Genovese crime family, used to faked that he had mental illness. You see, and a lot of people think Heyman was faking sick.
Wow, insane.
Remember, he's been on top of a crumbling empire for a long time, and it's crumbled. Trust me.
PBC.
Okay. Give me a second. All right. So now we're getting a little bit more into his finances. And man, if this is true, it's shady. So here's some things and some tactics, because now we're realizing maybe Mayweather really didn't know what was going on with his money. This says Heyman's aversion to leaving a digital trail extended to how he communicated instructions. He often relied on fax transmissions and in-person meetings rather than emails. In fact, when a subpoena for Heyman's deposition was served in related litigation, his counsel represented that Mr. Heyman doesn't even own or operate a computer, underscoring his deliberate avoidance of traceable electronic communication. By using faxes and avoiding emails, he made it harder to later uncover written evidence of his directives. For example, instruction to banker accounts. This old school approach was a part of what one association called working in the Flintstone ages, and it served this purpose of secrecy well. So apparently he was telling people what to do with Floyd's money, but never actually putting paperwork to it. Now they give a little context. That Floyd Mayweather met him and blah, blah. Let's read. So it says, Mayweather first signed his first promotional contract, including a long-term deal with Top Rank Boxing and HBO, without an independent legal counsel. For example, or instance, he later learned that an early contract gave HBO control to his fight footage masters, a term he didn't fully understand at the time, which would have future financial implications. Despite these disadvantages, Mayweather's talent propelled him quickly to championship status, earning him the nickname Pretty Boy Floyd, or later Money Mayweather. Around 2004, he was introduced to Al Heyman. The introduction was facilitated by Sam Watson. Heyman, a Harvard MBA graduate, a former music concert promoter, impressed Mayweather with his vision of maximizing fighters' earnings and taking more of a fighter-centric approach than traditional boxing promoters. Mayweather, coming off a strained relationship with promoters, he famously bought his contract with Bob Arum and Top Rank to become a free agent. He was receptive to Heyman's advice and influence. Mayweather and Heyman entered into what Mayweather understood to be a verbal one-year management advisory agreement around 2005. Under this oral agreement, Heyman would act as Mayweather's manager or advisor for a 10% fee, meaning Heyman would receive 10% of Mayweather's fight earnings and Mayweather would keep 90%. The split was notably favorable compared to the standard management fee, which was often 33% in boxing. Mayweather's credited the unconventional deal structure with revolutionizing boxer management relationships, stating that it changed boxing management forever by empowering the fighter. After 1 year, no new written agreement was signed, which, by the way, it's kind of interesting how they're writing this. Didn't they say they entered to be a verbal agreement? So this lawsuit's already fucked. It says in 2005 they entered a verbal agreement where he was going to take 10%. And then they said after the year, they're saying, here we go. Okay. After the 1 year term, no new written agreement was signed. Well, no written agreement was signed from the get-go. Yet Heyman continued in the same role for the next 15 plus years. So they're saying he just kept doing the same thing. At times, he represented Mayweather and others that he never took a dollar from Floyd beyond perhaps token amounts, even claiming he provided his services out of loyalty and friendship. For example, Heyman would later say that he did everything for free for Mayweather, which Mayweather now believes was a deceptive narrative. Over the years, Heyman became deeply embedded in every aspect of his professional and personal affairs. Interesting. Financial harm to Mayweather's massive, at least $340 million. I think we read that already. Okay. Oh, well, we read a little bit more. Including historically lucrative Pacquiao fight, which he should have gotten $240 million. Okay? Beyond the principal sum and the lost investment, it's enormous. Even a conservative index might double the money every 7 to 10 years, so that 340 could easily have grown to $1 billion over the decade. Mayweather's ability to generate such income again, though through fighting, is limited, as he's now a semi-retired 40-year-old man. Thus, the opportunity cost is irretrievable, warranting a significant reward of prejudgment interest and loss of use of damages on top of the raw amount. Mayweather built a public persona around financial success. The revelation that he was defrauded out of hundreds of millions, and the resultant rumors, or the false rumors, that he was broke or stuck overseas due to money issues, have caused him reputational harm and mental anguish. He has to endure public speculation about his finances that is mortifying for someone of his pride and status. Internally, discovering that this betrayal by a long-trusted advisor at Heyman has been emotionally devastating. It strained relationships with him and his camp and his family and caused him to question his own judgment and trust in people. These are real damages cognizable under fraud and fiduciary breach claims. Said Mayweather is alleging that $20,000 or $20 million actually of his his $20 million Birdo purse was actually paid out of his Manny Pacquiao purse, and another $50 million of in vague expenses also was from the Manny Pacquiao purse. So he fought Birdo for free, and he's also alleging he hasn't been paid out all the money from Pacquiao 11 years ago. So it says, routing the funds of secret accounts. And so on or about May 2015, Showtime and through his officers wired Mayweather's purse and a pay-per-view upside from the Pacquiao fight into a First Security Bank account, Jeff Morris account, rather than to Mayweather. This was an act furthered by the conspiracy of putting the money with Heyman within Heyman's easy reach. Showtime's accountant statements for the fight, at least those I've been seeing, included false or inflated expenses would reduce Mayweather's net. For example, charging $50 million in vague expenses and $20 million for Birdo on the Pacquiao ledger, acts which concealed the diversion of funds. If these entries were made at Heyman's request, Showtime's inclusion of them was an act joining the conspiracy as a give paper justification to withhold money from Mayweather. Okay, cool. All right. So essentially, they're saying they're finessing this guy, man. Heyman had a stroke in 2023, and it seems like it was a bad one. That's when Mayweather started asking questions about his money after Heyman became quite incapacitated. All of a sudden, Mayweather's lawyers started quitting and retiring. I could only assume those were Heyman-appointed lawyers. He says, on one occasion, Heyman or his agents allegedly altered a document to conceal wrongdoing. Mayweather representatives have an example of fax authorization form in which the date appears to have been manually altered, whited out, and rewritten to misrepresent when it was signed. The same document which purported to authorize Jeff Morris to pay himself a large sum from Mayweather's account had a telling notion. Initially, we need to cover our asses, which was crossed out by the version sent to the bank. The presence of the phrase and the redaction strongly suggests Heyman and his team recognized the impropriety of what they were doing and were attempting to do attempting to paper over the trail. Moreover, following the medical issue of stroke in late 2023, there was a sudden exodus of key members of Mayweather's camp. 5 of Mayweather's longtime attorney abruptly retired or withdrew from the representation within a 3-month span. This time it raised suspicion that these individuals may have been aware or complicit in aspects of hidden scheme and chose to distance themselves. Heyman was incapacitated and the situation risked exposure. To date, many records remain missing. Indeed, when Mayweather's new team asked Showtime in 2024 for the documentation of fight revenues and expenses, they were told that some records, for example, the payout spreadsheets or deal memos for the Pacquiao and McGregor fights, were actually lost in a flood or stored off-site and weren't readily accessible. Whether or not such flood occurred, and end result is that the documentation would clearly trace the flow of money to and from Mayweather from his biggest fight is conveniently unavailable. Person said PBC's done. Not too sure how they could recover from this. Mayweather's reason they exist, and for him to accuse Heyman of stealing from them is damning. And even worse, Heyman has some shady business practices, sneaky red flags already. They're saying Floyd spent so much money, even if Heyman never took what Floyd alleged he was going. If Heyman never took what Floyd's alleging, he was going broke. Walls were closing in. Hopefully, he has been paying his taxes because that's was almost his undoing twice, and the IRS likes to wait until you're in situations like Mayweather to come to collect. They're saying it is okay, cool. Floyd Mayweather money was all over the place. If true, Heyman controlled all of his finances. Let's read a little bit more about that. They're saying that banking records obtained by Mayweather's team show a pattern of large transfers from the above accounts to Alan Heyman's development and to other Heyman-owned entities. The transfer were also always labeled as repayment or a loan payoff, falsely suggesting that Heyman had advanced money to Mayweather at some point, which was now being reimbursed. Mayweather insists that he had never received loans from Heyman. The effect was to systematically move Mayweather's earnings into Heyman's coffers under false pretenses. For example, over the course of years, tens of millions of dollars would be moved to Al Heyman Development shortly after major fights, draining the account that held Mayweather's money. Additionally, records show numerous one-off payments from Mayweather's accounts directly to Heyman or Morris. These include transactions on the days connected to any fight, with memos like Mayweather's expenses or no clear description, and amounts such as $12 million, $15 million, $3 million, and $9 million. Each of these represents Mayweather's monies being paid out without his authorization or benefit. He never approved paying Heyman such bonuses or fees at the agreed 10%, and certainly not paying his accountant Morris multi-million-dollar sums. Such payments, if they occurred, were clearly misappropriations. Heyman took great pain to ensure Mayweather remained unaware of these accounts and transactions. This is corroborated by the statement from the insiders that Heyman not only permitted Floyd to see what Heyman wanted him to see, but actively hid documentation. In one communication, Heyman directed Morris to send Floyd the signature pages of the contracts with Heyman's handwritten notes, and it explicitly says he doesn't want Floyd to see the documents. This level of control prevented Floyd from discovering the outflows of his money. It was a direct breach of Heyman's fiduciary duty to provide all full disclosure of material facts related to Mayweather finances. This is getting messy, y'all. It's looking like Floyd is going to be down bad. Floyd is clearly accusing Heyman of kind of orchestrating this, and it's ironic that he's not suing him, but he's doing what Drake is doing with the lawsuit when it comes to Not Like Us. You should be suing Kendrick. If you want to sue the labels along with Kendrick, that's fine, but you should be suing Kendrick. He's the one who offended and also defamed you, if we're going to believe it's defamation. Now, when we think about this, it's the same thing. Floyd should be suing Al Heyman because you're actually saying you don't know what the books should have been, or you don't know what was paid. You know what was taken, but you can't really fully clearly point out that maybe you were getting robbed from Showtime and Showtime didn't pay you. Look like they paid somebody. Maybe they didn't pay you. They paid Al Heyman. Maybe they paid the shell company. That's on you to figure out, because for them to authorize your money to go anywhere else, you had to sign off on some type of sheet that would allow them to put your money where it was going to go. So if you never agreed to it, they shouldn't have done it. And if they did it without your consent, you have a huge case. You could get a lot of money. But if they did it and you consented, I'm not too sure if you could blame Spotify. Now, there's a case that maybe you could blame. Did I say Spotify? Sure. I'm not sure if you could blame. Am I tripping? I'm not sure if you could blame Showtime. Sorry. I say Spotify or Showtime. My bad. Anyway, so you can't blame Showtime. Look, there's no proof that they didn't pay you, or based on the agreement. It feels like you don't even know the agreement. So you don't know the agreement. Look like they paid something out, and every time they paid something out, the money went missing, and some went to Al Heyman based on what he claimed was reimbursements and other things that you owed him. Because according to the claims that you're even claiming, is that Al Heyman told y'all that, yo, I did take some of your money, but you owe me. Now, that might be a thing where Al Heyman is like being like, I don't want to bring up an artist in this, but there's a situation where a label said, yo, this artist, yeah, we're in a production deal with them, but this artist is broke and he spent the money that the label gave us, and he came to us and asked me for $100,000. He wanted to buy a chain. I gave him $100,000. So obviously, that's not free $100,000. That person's going to reimburse himself. So I'm wondering if it's something of the sort like this. But it's interesting. He's not suing Al Heyman, even though it seems like Al Heyman is the main person who defrauded him. Why are you suing Showtime? Or are you trying to make the point that Showtime should never paid Heyman? Well, I'm pretty sure they have some type of, he's saying it was some old school shit. So I guess he's hoping they don't have some proof that he authorizes, which that's going to be the interesting part of it all, right? Yeah, Floyd is in shambles, y'all. Floyd is in shambles. He's in shambles. I don't know what's going to come off this, but I'm going to say my prayers to him. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. All right. Yeah, chat. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Yeah. So a little drama going on. So I for the second year in a row, I got Super Bowl tickets, and I was gonna go, but I was just like, first of all, I had anticipated the streak to continue, so I was gonna go because of that. So I gave tickets to my brother, and like he's at the Super Bowl now. There's a bunch of events, and I think some of these people are expecting to see me, and it's like a whole bunch of drama. So like I got to deal with some drama real quick too, to make sure my bro is having a good time at the Super Bowl. So it's a little bit that, but anyway, chat. I am gonna be streaming early tomorrow. I got to be streaming early tomorrow before the Super Bowl. I'm going to a Super Bowl party most likely, so I'm gonna be streaming early as fuck tomorrow, and that's why I'm probably cutting stream. We're only 4 hours in, but I am cutting stream now because I have to go deal with some drama, and I will be streaming way before the Super Bowl happens. I realize what time the Super Bowl is. What time is the Super Bowl tomorrow? By the way, if you're wondering, this is the second year I've given my brother the Super Bowl tickets that I had. The reason why I don't go, chat, bro, I've been to the Super Bowl when Usher performed. Bro, it was the most hectic shit possible, bro. Like, it's just not meant for, like, it was so hectic. Like, yo, Super Bowl is a thing you go to once. You go to it once, you don't go again. Like, it's not like going to a regular game. It's just so many people there. It's really all about the activities all around the Super Bowl because everybody's making a killing. It's about party. You can see celebrities, but like it's so like for me, I was just like never again. Anyway, all right. The game is at 6:30. I'm gonna try to get on around. I'm getting my hair done in the morning. My hair looks crazy. I'm getting my hair done in the morning, and I'll get on pretty much afterwards and stream till I don't know, maybe like 4:30. All right. So chat. I love y'all. But I do have to run at. Remember, this is Super Bowl weekend. So it's a little bit scuffed. I know our streak ended yesterday. I won't call it 28 or 28, but we're going to start our new streak. All right. Chat, I love you. I got to run. I'm sorry. I will be back early tomorrow after I get my hair done.